This podcast was recorded near the end of December 2021. Took you long enough, Rocha, to finish it, you procrastinating piece of beep. Welcome to the Ninja Taco Time podcast.
I need scissors. 61. Even my patience has reached its limits. I just can't leave this thing up to you any longer. I'll do the fighting. You can just go home. The mission is a failure. Cut the power right now.
Wiggles.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going greaticals. Oh!
That doesn't
No!
sound great.
Oh my fucking god, bro.
Just over there.
What's up, y'all? It's Kenchi music.
Yeah, so, Kenchi over there just playing some Resident Evil 4 real quick,
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
damn,
not even
man.
real quick. He's just he's just playing it real quick.
He's,
But it's me, your pothead friendly Ponzio,
yes, and
here to join the podcast.
before I was rudely interrupted by Kenchi over here.
Hey,
I am
fucking,
Rocha,
I'm over
the
here
Ninja
running away
King.
from bitches.
Yeah, he's running away from those bitches.
All the bitches. You should see the bottom of his feet, man. They're like bones. That's how much he's doing. Fuck, I couldn't talk there for a second.
He could not talk. He couldn't talk for like dear life because I don't know.
Grab it.
Sometimes
I
you
tripped up on my words. I was texting and talking at the same time. You know how it goes.
Grab it and bag it.
Sometimes you just lose your train of thought, and that's okay. We all do that. Even the best of us happen to do that once in a while. So, what is on today's agenda, guys?
Busting people's
I'm on
melons
recovery
with these
mode
arrows.
because I drank. I don't even know if I drank too much last night. Like that, I went back through my text and I saw that I got home at 9:30.
Damn.
It wasn't I thought it was like midnight
Yeah.
or 1 o'clock. Nah, dude, it was fucking. I must have got home like at 9 and then texted somebody. I texted the boys. I was like, hey, invite me to the party. I just got home. But apparently I didn't make it to the party or the online party because fucking I was passed out.
Right.
But then woke up at 3 a.m. just hacking my guts out until 10 a.m.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Sounds like
How
it
much
was.
did you drink?
That's the thing. I didn't drink very much. I went to go meet up with a friend, and then they're like, "Hey, we're going to the bar. You want to come?" Sure, why not? Right? Like, get invited. All right, I'll go. Yeah, whatever. And on the way there, I think I took like 3 pulls off of this really, really cheap liquor. And it was like a big old gallon, and they said they got it for like $14. I don't remember what it was called. But yeah, had that, 3 pulls off of that, then maybe 6 beers. And apparently
Damn.
yeah, no, I didn't drink at all. That was the thing. Like, how was I so wasted? I don't get it. But so I'm on recovery mode today. Thank God that Ninja's dad got us Chinese food. So
Yeah, good old
makes
Chinese
myself
food.
feel better.
Having some
I
of
would
those
assume
Singapore
so,
noodles.
because, man, if you don't eat nothing after you do drinking like that, you finna feel like ass.
That's the thing. I wasn't drinking crazily. It was just puking excessively.
Well, I guess that's why we need some Chinese food to help cure that, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's like the best. That's even better than hair of the dog. I just can't have no
I
clue.
was gonna say, what?
What?
Well, you don't know. You don't know what hair of the dog is?
No. What's
Oh, I didn't
that?
know you knew that.
That is the first time I've ever heard that term.
Oh, you never heard of that? Oh, that's basically like a method that you use. I don't remember exactly what's in it, but I know that I think you put like an egg with like some something else. Like you take an egg and then you do some other stuff to
Oh,
it.
you're talking about that drink that Spike Spiegel
Yeah, that's
makes
what
them
that.
yeah,
That's
okay.
what that was.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, the second you said egg, I already knew. I thought about it too. I really did. When I was finally able to like stand up and like actually move about, I'm like, man, I
Yeah.
want one of those Spike Spiegel drinks.
Well, now you know that the actual name for it is known as hair of the dog.
Hair on the dog.
Hair of the dog. That's kind of crazy.
Not the
that
duck,
is the name.
the dog.
Yeah, it's.
I
I don't even know why they call it that.
I'm pretty sure it's egg, yolk, Tabasco, paprika, and a little bit of gin. I
Yeah.
could be wrong. Yeah, it's supposed
That's
to be
what's in it?
Well, yeah, Yeah, I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure that's what's.
Yeah.
That's kind of sounds good, honestly.
And the funny thing is that wasn't even originally used for like a method to like help him with a hangover. I think that actually came from an expression. It was actually a method of treating a rabid dog bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I was
then
kind of
people
reading
just
here.
started drinking it for. All right.
I don't know. I just kind of picked up that nickname for some reason, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And like I said, I don't even know if that's like a specific. Maybe it is. Like I said, I'm not like the most knowledgeable in like
So, I'll look
drink
up what's,
culture, but like
what's
I
on
do
it.
know that like that's like the term you use after a hangover to like cure your hangover.
Oh, you fucking
Harold?
penis.
But yeah, I know that the expression is used for like getting a rabid dog bite.
God damn. I have to get away.
I'm looking up what's actually in it.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a whole bunch of dogs. coming
Vodka,
up.
tomato juice, and other flavors such as horseradish, celery salt, lemon juice, and Tabasco sauce. Yeah, that's yeah, I knew there was some kind of tomato juice, but I knew it was actually like a mix of different stuff.
Fuck? That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. This dude just like jittered towards me and then grabbed me.
Oh no! What he drinks is a prairie oyster. It's made with gin, raw egg yolk, hot sauce, and pepper. That's all it
Okay.
is.
What kind of ingredients?
I guess that's to help with the hangover too. I mean, that definitely sounds different except for the tomato juice part.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that what he used.
Hot sauce. Yeah. He didn't use any tomato juice in the show.
Well, I mean, I thought that's what I was saying. Isn't that what you would use and what he was trying to make?
Hot sauce. I think I really.
Yeah, I know you just read off what that was.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Hot sauce. Yeah, it kind of looks weird. Like when you see an actual picture of somebody who made it.
Yeah.
The drink itself looks like.
It looks well. I mean, all those hangover cure-alls are not exactly what I would say is most pleasant to look at or to aesthetically or taste wise. Of course, I've never had to worry about that because I don't drink like that.
You
so.
lucky bastard.
Yeah, I do not drink like that. So
I don't either. I used to drink like a fucking like no other.
I
but-
definitely remember going to the bar with you and Blasty Get Nasty for your 21st though over
Yeah.
at the Sombrero.
Yeah, no,
Just
now
getting your beer. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, I was so proud.
that was cool. I mean, you were the first person I had like an actual legal drink with like that. And
You actually had a beer?
Yeah, I drank a Guinness. It was a Guinness Black, wasn't it, or something like that?
I know it was a Guinness. I don't remember which kind though.
I know you detest drinking.
Well, I don't detest it. I just don't like beer.
The one thing that your parents have the fridge full of.
Yeah, just nothing but beer. I don't-
Straight beer.
I really don't like most beers. I mean, I kind of like those Red Apple ales. Those are all right sometimes.
Yeah, those are really nice, easy drinks.
But I mean, sometimes like a sour beer, like they have like citrus, a lot of citrus in it or something. But at that point, like, while I do kind of like those, I just think those, man, this is pretty good. But I'd rather just have like a malt liquor or something. Like what was that one? The
Anaconda malt liquor from Black Dynamite.
No, it's something like Mike's Hard or something like that, or that one.
Oh yeah.
Or what was that, Smirnoff? That's the one that I like. But it has to be the regular Smirnoff, because I try any other Smirnoff, and
And it's just like nope.
I just do not like them.
Alright.
I mean, they're fine, but after a while, I get tired of them.
I guess I don't.
Like, Smirnoff is the only one
never
where
had a
I'll drink it the
Smirnoff.
whole way through. I'm like, yeah, that was refreshing as fuck.
Now I'll say that about those apple whatevers on a really hot summer day.
Yeah.
Dude, just a beer on a nice hot summer day just is nice. Fuck, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird too, because I'm like, man, I really wish I could like beer more, because it looks tasty all the time.
No,
It has such a pleasing like look to it, but then when I drink most of them, it's like
it's like this is not what you look like.
it's fine, I guess. I don't know. It's not something that I like to just drink a lot. So
Nah,
yeah,
like-
just beer is just not one of my favorite things out
When
there.
me and my ex went, like I'd always have like I guess when we lived together, I'd always have a 6-pack in the fridge.
Yeah,
Nothing crazy and shit. Sometimes that 6-pack would sit there for a long time. But I know every time we went out to like eat at a restaurant or something, it's like, yeah, let me get a very fucking tall beer. And I don't know why. That was just like my thing. Like, let me get a tall ass beer to go with this burger,
yeah, right, yeah.
Burger, fries, beer.
burgers, fries, and beer. And I guess for me, just replace that with a Smirnoff or a Mike's Hard. And there we go. Actually, speaking of Mike's Hard, the one that I like the most out of all those is actually like the black cherry Mike's Hard. That's like my favorite one.
I've seen them, but
Yeah,
I
Mike's
haven't
Hards
had
aren't
'em.
too bad. I like those.
I think the only Mike's Hard I've ever got was just the lemonade one.
Oh yeah, the lemonade one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I like that one. And like I guess I could drink just about any of the Mike's Hards for the most part.
Yeah, they're not. Surprisingly, they're not that hard.
No, they're not. They're I mean, you definitely taste the alcohol, but
Mhm.
like it kind of complements the citrusy, like I guess,
works
like carbonated
well
flavor
together,
of malt liquor. So like, yeah, no, it's pretty nice. It's pretty damn nice. But today we're here to talk about stuff from about 20 years ago. You know, remember that time, 2001?
Oh, such a long
Guys.
fucking time
Yeah,
ago.
2001 is such a
Goddamn.
long ass time. I didn't even know you guys yet.
I didn't
No.
even know I existed yet.
Well, I mean, I was still living in Kentucky at the time. I don't know where you were though.
I was
I
in
may have-
Florida, I believe, in 2001. Yeah.
That's what I thought
I have no
too.
idea where I was.
Oh, you don't? I thought you were like here in Iowa somewhere, or like a Cedar
Probably in
Rapids or
Cedar.
something.
Yeah, probably Cedar Rapids.
That's why every time we talk about like your time when like we were kids, like that's where you lived. I thought was in Cedar Rapids for a while when I was over.
Yeah, I never paid
in
attention to
Kentucky.
like the years per se, like or the year where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, it's been 20 years now. Stuff starts to kind of become a blur
Yeah, exactly.
for a lot of things. I mean, there's
Which
some
is weird because I can still remember stupid things
Yeah.
like with immense detail, like the time that I left my house keys in my desk. Like I remember they were in that little like dividend inside the desk,
Mm-hmm.
so where you could set your pencils and shit. I had
Yeah.
my keys, my house keys, right there, and I remember forgetting them. And I needed to get my fucking keys because my tutor was gonna come over, like my reading tutor or whatever was gonna come over. But lo and behold, I didn't have my keys, so I was like, "We're just locked out. Sorry."
All right.
Yeah, I mean, my babysitters at that time, it was like she lived right across the street and like diagonal, so I could just go over there. But how do I remember something like that? But like I don't remember what year that was.
I guess the stuff that like I always think about a lot. It's just like the stuff I would be watching on TV around that time, or what video games I was playing. Like I remember like when I played Metal Gear Solid 2, like one memory that really sticks out in my head actually.
I definitely remember playing that. Once
now,
I got
now
that
I'm
for the
thinking
Xbox.
about it, like I actually remember like playing Metal Gear Solid 2, and of course you know what happens when like the colonel just starts wigging the fuck out.
Mhm.
Because he starts to become like an AI. And everything.
Dude, yeah. And if
Like,
you're just playing that by yourself,
I was playing that by myself upstairs in my.
In the
I
dark.
can
Sorry.
imagine the terror that you were going
Well,
through.
I remember because it was like rain. I don't know if it was raining, but it was really stormy.
the mood was
outside.
set for the game.
Like it was like the weather was bad outside. It was definitely there was a lot of lightning and thunder and everything. It's cloudy. I remember because it was like even extra dark. When it's like that.
Stupidly dark. You shut off all the lights and it's still
I
dark.
really don't really remember.
Like it's darker than what it should be.
I really don't remember much from like 2000. Really, all I remember is I lived in Florida and got into a fuck ton of trouble, and then my mom was like, "Nah, we're moving back to Burlington."
Yeah, and the thing is that I was like on the second floor. That's where my room was, and I vividly remember like the layout of the apartment and everything too. And so
Dude,
it
that
was like in
place-
my it was like kind of a smaller room
Yeah.
at the time,
Oh, out in
And,
Kentucky.
and of course like the window it wasn't open, but I don't think it had the curtains closed or anything. So there's like a tree outside and everything. Of course, it's dark and it's looming, so like.
Did he give off that shadow like it was like
Yeah,
reaching
kind
for the
of. Yeah,
window?
a little bit. Especially like when like the lightning started happening and everything. The
Yep.
funny thing too is that I think people were actually over that night too, but I was just kind of upstairs just doing my thing at the time, and
Well, of course, yeah, being a kid.
and so I was just playing
adults are doing
that
adult
game, and
stuff.
then the colonel's just all wigging out and shit. And of course, that's when you're like in the that's when you're over like in Arsenal gear, and yeah, and I was of course. And the funny thing is, I was like under my bed too, which is I was like I don't know why I was under there either. I don't even know why I was under my bed. I just was for some reason. Or maybe I don't even know if it was just out of straight terror. I just felt like being in a different spot than normal. I guess.
Probably.
I had a bunk bed at the time too, so sometimes I would just crawl under
That's
there.
one
just
bed
all
I
night.
never had was a bunk bed.
Oh,
I had a bunk bed
Nah, I
with
never
my
had a bunk bed.
because I had a little brother, so it's just a lot easier to have, get a 2-bedroom house and then, the kids share the room, bunk bed, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 was one of those games that came out at the time, brand new. But the fun thing is that when I played, and I actually owned that game, it wasn't until about 2003 when I actually owned it myself. But the fun thing is that that was actually one of my first experiences of that game. One, not the very first, but like of that scene happening, and that was of course when our cousin had, how he had like all the newest games at the time.
Which one?
Well,
No! Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, they did have all the fucking new shit. The bastards. They had all the cool shit.
Yeah.
So, I love those guys.
But yeah, I remember that they had that game at the time, and I don't even know if we talked about this on the podcast or not, but I do know that I was there. I think some of his friends were there. And like some other people, I can't remember. I almost want to say that my mom and dad might have been there too. I don't know. We were always kind of hanging out, like in his room, watching this game because this Metal Gear Solid 2 was like the latest game that came out. So
and it looked really good too. Like that was the thing. Like that game looked really fucking good. I thought. At least I thought.
I mean, it still holds up for the most part. It still really does hold up for the most part.
To my last cigarette. I already gave you a cigarette, Kenchi. Now you're trying to take a puff off my last one?
That's just about as low as anyone could possibly stoop.
But yeah, no, it's one of those games that still holds up like very well, even like 20 years later since it came out.
I want to replay it. I remember going through all the, just replaying the game over and over on different difficulties, just to say that I could do it.
I mean, I know that there's a mode where you can get like dog tags, and the more that you get, you unlock different wigs and glasses. I don't know. I know it was wigs and headbands. I think.
No, you could get glasses too. I remember having glasses because then when you zoomed in on first person mode, like the color of the tint of glasses you had changed like how you actually saw. So if you had like green ones on, everything looked green.
Sunglasses. And
I thought it was pretty cool.
Headbands. I think headbands are unlockable too. I think there's Snake in that one.
Snake.
And they all had like different effects depending on what you had.
I think the game that got me into Metal Gear Solid was
You're no longer Snake.
The Twin Snakes.
Oh, yeah.
That was the game that got me into Metal Gear Solid. Into the franchise at least.
Yeah, the remake of the remake.
It basically felt like MGS2, but with MGS2, but MGS1 shit.
Yeah, the Twin Snakes was pretty good. I think that came out in like 2004 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I kind
of few years after
my 2004s and like I kind of remember. I don't really remember 2001 or 2002 or anything like that. I don't remember 9/11, but fucking.
I remember 9/11.
I remember seeing that like on the news.
You know the funny thing about that 9/11 thing and its relationship to Metal Gear Solid 2? For some reason, like in the ending of Metal Gear Solid 2, and like Raiden kills Solidus, they actually were gonna put like a bunch of like flags there and stuff, like when Solidus died. And again, if you actually look at that cutscene, there's a bunch of like flagpoles that don't have flags on them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, originally those are supposed to have flags on them. They kind of make it look all like epic and stuff when like Solidus dies.
But what happened to the flags then? They just forget to...
The funny thing is, if my understanding is correct, like I think that they had the assets for them, but they had to take them out right before the game released. Because I guess it might have felt inappropriate or something. I'm not really sure 100%, but yeah, like that was the thing that happened.
I think it's stupid when small things like that are like, well, wait, this could cause a problem.
Maybe. I'm not really sure. I think there was an explanation. I was watching a video like on some of the Easter eggs and stuff about Metal Gear Solid, and I don't understand why they took the flags out 100%, like off the top of my head at the moment. If I do find out, I'll probably like put that clip in there, just insert it in here that explains why. But yeah, like I just thought that was kind of interesting that they just took those flags out for some reason.
When you have a game that's as ambitious in scope as this one, things always will end up on the cutting room floor. One of those things was the original ending. While the whole ending wasn't removed completely, it was heavily edited from its original. While playing the game, you may have noticed the jarring location change when you are on Arsenal gear and then suddenly you're in the middle of New York City. Well, that's due to a scene where Arsenal was supposed to crash through Manhattan and another scene where Raiden would cut a rope to drop an American flag, which were both removed from the game due to the recent 9/11 attacks.
I don't think I've actually played that one, though.
What, Metal Gear Solid 2?
was pretty good.
No, I played Sons of Liberty, but you guys were talking about which one?
No, that was the one. Metal Gear Solid
okay.
2, that was the one where Solidus dies.
No, I thought you guys were talking about a different.
No, we weren't talking about Twin Snakes anymore. He
okay,
brought
yeah.
9/11, and I
that's
talking
what I
about
thought
that,
you
and
were-
I
I thought
think
you were still
that
talking
had
about
something to do
Twin
with the fact
Snakes.
that they edited out the flags or something in Metal Gear Solid 2. And like I said, it was supposed to be just like a bunch of American flags that were like, waving as Solidus died and stuff and fell down to his death. But yeah, that game.
Like a bitch.
That game, like 20 years later, like I'm still finding Easter eggs about that shit. Like I it's one of those games that I'm just kind of obsessed with, just because it just kind of it fucked.
I'm
with
really
me so
upset that they
much.
don't have it on fucking the Xbox store. Like
Yeah, I don't
they
know.
have it for Xbox, the original Xbox. So why don't they have it on the Xbox store? But they have like, fuck. I wish I could.
I think it's
Bring it
because
up on my
that
phone.
game originally came out on the PlayStation.
Well, I mean,
the
it was
updated version came out at the Xbox.
Because I didn't get fucking Metal Gear Solid 2 for the Xbox until it was way later. I'm talking about like I may have been. I think by that time I was in middle school.
Yeah. So I think when you had that, you had the Substance version of that game, and that was the one
No,
that
it
had
was-
like all the extra VR missions and stuff on Xbox.
Yeah, there was a shit ton of VR missions.
But
yeah.
actually, that version that update of the game came out on PS2 and on PC too.
Okay.
So like that wasn't the only platform. The PS2 is like the only version that actually had the skateboarding mode that you could play, and I do
I
think.
remember seeing you mess around
and
on
the-
that. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that you could, even if you don't have that game, I think because that skateboarding game was like a exclusive like to the PlayStation 2, so
Right.
it would just have it appear on there. But you can actually play that like those stages and have those skins in that actual game.
Mm-hmm.
So really, what you were playing was just like a portion of like the whole game of that skateboarding game, and I can't remember what the skateboarding game was called at the top
Evolution
of my head.
Speaking
skateboarding.
of skating games, speaking of skateboarding, like I still think like Tony Hawk's Underground, the first one, is still the best skateboarding game ever.
I may have played that one. I don't
like
remember
that
where
had
the
like
fuck I
the
would
best.
have,
It had
though.
the best the soundtrack to it. It had the best storyline to it. After
See,
that,
I have
like,
no idea where I played any of the games that I did play when I was younger. I remember like bouncing around from like houses to houses, going over like my parents' friends, and they
shit,
happen to have
the
a
game
console
I
or something.
remember,
But
like
I had never actually had a console until I got the Xbox One.
Oh, gee.
What the
And by
fuck
that
am
time, I was
talking about? I
already
do
living
remember
in
my
Wapello.
2000s because I remember getting a fucking Dreamcast in 2000.
Yep, the Dreamcast, dude. That just came out in 1999. It unfortunately had the.
And it fucking ended in 2001, which is crazy. It only
I think
lasted like 3 years.
That was when they dropped it, wasn't it? Around 2001 or
Yeah.
so. It unfortunately had the it had the misfortune of actually having to compete with the PS2 literally the year right after it.
And everybody was like, man, the PS2 would look way better.
I actually got that too, actually, when it came out in 2000, I think.
They should have thought about making the Dreamcast in like 1997.
Yeah, well, and if it wasn't 2000, I know it got no.
It would have
no later than
definitely beat the
2001.
PlayStation out the water, but then boom, PlayStation 2.
I want to say it was around 2001 when I got my PS2 for that Christmas, and I was super excited to have it. I was having so much. I was like so happy because I think I actually got Jack and Daxter, I think. But you guys remember that game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Jack
Fuck
and
yeah.
Daxter,
Daxter
the
was a good
Precursor
game.
Legacy. Man, that game
I
was. a lot of
unfortunately
fun.
didn't play it, but I remember you having it.
And that was a Naughty Dog game, the same studio that helped produce the Crash Bandicoot games. And I think that was actually like their first like attempt to do something, because I think like after Naughty Dog did like the original 3 Crash games, that they moved on to that project. I want to say, and yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, it was just kind of like just a big collectathon game for the most part, but I did still like the aesthetic, and the world was cool. It had like a really good vibe to it, and like of course like they had like what was it like? I know. I think the funny thing about that was like how I thought Daxter was always like the funniest part of that game.
Like I said, I don't got much to say on that game because I
Yeah.
never played it, but
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm probably the only one here that actually played that game.
Yeah,
so
you literally are the only one.
I'm probably the only guy that ever played that. So I'm the only.
I was still going through a Sonic phase when I was.
you're still going through a Sonic phase. What do
Not
you
really.
mean?
I don't really play Sonic that
Oh,
much.
bullshit! Shut up.
I don't. I haven't played
If
a
I
Sonic
busted
game
out
in
a Sonic
forever.
right now,
And it's funny that I just
know you
said
could
that
get down
Dax
on
was the
it.
funniest part. He was literally like the only funny thing in that game. Now I think about it, because I don't know, but yeah. So I was playing that, and I also had Ratchet and Clank at the time. So, and it's actually making me rethink that. I don't know if I had my PS2.
they came out with
2001
another Ratchet and Clank, didn't they?
Yeah,
Just
recently.
recently?
I don't remember what it's called though.
I mean, Ratchet and Clank probably, but yeah, I don't know like the subtitle for it or whatever. But
I don't even remember like what the latest. I haven't played that game since
no, I think
probably like
I think
Ratchet.
it came out for the PS4.
I haven't played that game since like Ratchet Deadlocked. That
That
was
would've
like
been
the
on-
last one that I played. That was when you were just primarily just Ratchet. You didn't have Clank on your back.
Would that have been
anymore.
on the PS2?
Yeah, that did come out on the PS2.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wasn't that the last Ratchet and Clank game for?
For a good while. I don't think nothing came out for the PS3.
I think they had some stuff. I think that was the last game that they had for like the PS2, or one of the last games for the
Yeah,
PS2. Because
'cause
by
I-
that point, the PS3 was already on its way.
They were still making games for the PS2, which is crazy when the PS3 was out.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really hoping that the games they come out with for like this coming year, I really hope they are like for the Xbox One and the PS4 still, not just exclusively like the PS5 and
Well, I think it would be
newer-
kind of
newer
nice.
Xboxes.
Well, the PS4 and PS5 are
I
graphically
mean, yeah, they can still have their
similar, so-
PlayStation, Xbox exclusives.
I
I'm
mean,
not saying that, but
People are still playing Street Fighter 5, and there's PS5 versions of Street Fighter 5 and PS4 versions of Street Fighter.
yeah,
so-
and that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like, I hope they come out like two versions of the game.
Well, I think with like a lot of those games, like Street Fighter 5 in particular, I think that one's still just a PS4 game exclusively, but you can still play it on PS5 consoles.
I mean, there's a physical copy of Street Fighter 5 for the PS5.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they did it really?
Yeah.
You gotta get closer to your mic, yo.
God damn it. I got so fucking relaxed. But yeah, there's a physical version of Street Fighter 5
Oh, nah.
for the PS5.
That's interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised they would do that. Because I know,
Well,
like,
I mean, the
they-
PS5 is going to
Watch, there's
definitely
gonna be a
outsell the
fucking-
PS4, so I mean,
Is there watch?
it's a smart move on their part.
I bet they have a fucking GTA 5 physical copy.
Well,
for,
I mean, they might. I don't know. I mean,
PS5.
it's just one of those where I don't know why you would want to do that, only because.
Marketing.
Well, I mean, it's
Right,
just
get
because
more
those
games
games
out.
are perfectly compatible. I mean, there is some backwards compatibility to do, but really, the actual architecture of the PS5 isn't like that much different from the PS4. Like they're
Well,
almost.
some people I know for a fact,
identical.
like, if some people got a PS5, some people sell their PS4. And be like, oh, since this game's on the PS5, why would I need to keep my PS4?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm looking around. I haven't seen it. I mean, it's probably just floating around somewhere. I just don't know, but. Like I think it's just because I know there's a lot of games that don't have that are just strictly still PS4, but they'll have like they're compatible with PS5, and they'll even have like
I've seen.
they'll even have like upgrade up like I guess like patches or like like
Well,
graphical
you'll see
patches
on the
or something
Xbox
that
a lot.
make
You'll
it
see
look better.
like a enhanced for the newer console version of that
Whoa,
game.
I'm getting too comfortable.
So I don't know if
running
they're
around.
like.
forgot
I guess
where I was.
that's the same thing because you have a version for like the original Xbox One and then these new what is it like Xbox Series X
Yeah.
1000. I don't fucking
Series
know.
X down. I don't know. Well,
Yeah, whatever.
Series
fucking,
X1000?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
Well, I mean, it's
They
just
always
like
have-
it's
they just
weird
have a
'cause that's
fucking
the
stupid
series.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
like-
almost that's what you have to call it
Yeah,
now.
why don't they just fucking call it like the Xbox refrigerator or something? Like, give us a name for it. Like,
Like
I
a
don't
new
want
name that does
codes.
the Xbox, or was it Xbox Series
The
X?
Xbox
Yeah.
refrigerator.
Because like it is a little confusing because you already had Xbox One X. Now you're gonna say Series X.
Yeah, like what's
Which is like, I guess it almost makes it sound like it's like a spin-off or something.
yeah,
that's-
exactly.
They're all
come
based
from?
on the Xbox One X.
Yeah, like there's nothing
You
new
know.
about it at all. That's what it's based.
It seems more like
That's
a
what the
spin-off
title
than like an
gives.
actual sequel to like what you had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really even the PS5 really isn't like from my understanding. It doesn't. A lot of people's user experience is not that much different from PS4. It just looks a lot.
Oh yeah,
It's in 4K now.
but at least they
instead.
didn't call that one like
Shit, you
the
know how everybody feels
PS4
about 4K nowadays.
plus they didn't call it that, so that's
Yeah.
At least they gave it the next number.
The next number.
I mean, yeah, at least they did that. It wasn't that confusing, but you still had the problem. It just feels incremental. It feels like an incremental update than like an actual massive overhaul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of like what came before, and I
Watch
think
the
that's why
next
PC games
generation.
becoming more popular because PCs never really had that problem of like the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right. Yeah.
There's
Exactly. You don't have like the Yeah.
There's no like set system because it's always custom hardware.
Mhm.
The only thing that's really
Consistent.
is just like the Windows that it's running.
Right. You're not like fixed with like.
Yeah, that's the
hardware.
only thing you gotta worry about is like what's compatible with what program and what app on a computer.
That's the
Because if
thing
you
is-
got like Windows 7 and you trying to run Steam, it ain't gonna run certain games.
Yeah, not exactly.
Not that old.
And that's the thing, because even Steam, even though I don't like the full Steam libraries on every single platform, but like you can get Steam on like Windows, Linux, and Mac OS.
Yeah, you can't get that shit on
So,
XP though.
Yeah, not now. I don't even think does Steam even exist on the XP days.
Hell no.
I don't remember.
Steam didn't come out till like 2011.
I don't know.
2012.
It's funny because me and Kenchi use Steam, and I don't even know like the actual history of Steam.
I know a lot of my other buddies use Steam. but-
Initial release September 12th, 2003. That's how old Steam is.
Damn, Steam's older than I thought.
Fuck
dog.
yeah, I didn't think it was that old.
No, I thought it was about that old. I thought it was about early 2000s. That sounds about right, actually. Well, what I was thinking.
I
But,
know.
yes.
I just would have thought, at least at the very earliest, I would have thought 2009. But damn, 2003. No, that's like
At
that puts it close enough to the 2001 era.
At that time, I was playing PC games like that one Viper racing game, and I had like this, and then I had like a small soldiers like.
I think I was starting
I
to
remember
just
you having a
learn
small
what the hell
soldiers game, yeah.
emulation was at that time.
I mean, there was emulation. I think they had like SNES emulators in like the late '90s. Believe it or not, so emulation was a thing even in the '90s. So I thought that even Mugen, Mugen.
Oh yeah, Mugen's been around since like 1999, dog.
Yeah, so like that stuff's been around for fucking ever.
Get everything over.
I know. At least I wasn't open.
But yeah, freaking But yeah, I guess going back to the whole early 2000s discussion, since we just mentioned how old Steam was, Okay, so here's another game that me and Kenji actually played a lot back then. It was Devil May Cry.
Let's rock, baby.
This year was the 20th anniversary.
I wish I would
of that
have
series.
got that game.
Oh, dog, man, Devil May Cry, man, I'm glad you brought that up because that's like actually one of my favorite fucking games. Like that's
There's a lot of history that me and Kenji have with that game. We've probably been playing that for like
I
over
think
a good
that
solid
was the
decade.
game
Damn.
that got me into
about-
Dynasty Warriors was the game that got me into hack and slash, but Devil May Cry was the game that got
I
me
remember
into that
Dynasty
whole,
Warriors for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think.
Devil May Cry was the game that got me into that whole you're the dude just slashing demons and shit, like. Because originally it was supposed to be a Resident Evil 4 game. That's why it still has horror elements in the first one. But they completely shifted it towards a second and third and fourth game.
Yep. It was supposed to be a Resident Evil sequel, but it started to get so
Because the
far
whole
away
point
from
was
what
they were trying to
Resident
make-
Evil
Yeah, they
was.
just
After Resident Evil
dropped
2,
out of that.
they were trying to make Leon way more cooler, but they made him too cool. Like, almost into a completely different character.
Yeah. And it's
Let's make
kind
him
of funny.
cool. Wait, shit, he's too cool.
It's kind of funny that it was too action oriented at the time, but since like 5, 6, and 6 came out for Resident Evil, it's like they ended up making super action packed games anyway.
Right?
I haven't played
didn't
any
even
of the
matter.
new ones.
I'm like, I might as well. I should have just done that from the start, I guess. I don't know, shit.
I think the last. What are they on? They're on Resident Evil. What? They're on 9.
Yeah, they're coming up on 9 now.
Come with that. I don't even know. Don't
If you're counting the spin-offs too, dog, there's so many fucking spin-offs. You got Umbrella Chronicles, Welcome to Raccoon City, fucking...
Oh, shit.
honestly, that I'm trying to unpack Resident Evil and everything. That just is its own podcast. In fact, that's like 5 or 6 podcasts worth of stuff that you could talk because there's so many goddamn spin-offs.
There's
I've
so
only
many
seen the
game
movies.
spin-offs and the lore is so fucking
There's
convoluted.
like a shit ton of novels too, and like
Yeah, I just
movies.
I didn't have a console or gaming anything at that time.
What?
Sucks.
The first Resident Evil game I ever played was the second one. That was my first Resident Evil game.
I played the first one.
And then I went back and played the first one and didn't like it.
Yeah, I played the first one was my first. Going back to our cousins, they had that game. I sat there and watched them play that for hours, and then I tried my hand in and I sucked because I was like only like what the hell, like 6 or 7 at the time.
Well, I think I got my Xbox when in 4th grade.
Because I know the game came out in '96, if
I
I remember
actually
correctly.
managed to beat Resident Evil 7 when I was like well, not 7, but Resident Evil 2 when I was like 7 years old. And that game's like complicated as hell too.
I remember you playing through 6 at when I lived here.
Yeah.
You know, and that's funny because actually going back to Devil May Cry, like if you play the very first Devil May Cry, you'll definitely see like it has like the Resident Evil like lineage in it because it plays a lot like a Resident Evil game.
It literally does, but with your fighting and there's swords
instead of
guns.
It's still kind of
it
one
still
of those,
has puzzles and shit.
There's puzzles and it's still one of those where you try to have to walk around, just hit the X button just till you pick up something kind of aspect to it too.
That'd be a little
That's
annoying.
fair.
And like there is like sort of like the like kind of the mansion aspect because you know how in like the first Resident Evil you're kind of in a mansion, kind of going through corridors, looking through different rooms, trying to pick up stuff. It's basically there's a lot of that in there too. You know,
they just
the way like
gave
the
you a sword
characters
instead.
move and the way like it's just interesting. It really does just feel like a Resident Evil game with like action, like more like third person hack and slash.
I'll have to watch a video on the first one, or at least it's actually somehow come across it. I don't. Cause
you might be able to find like the HD collection like on Xbox pretty easily. They might even be on sale right now on Steam.
Actually,
not Steam, but on Xbox.
I got one of the Resident Evils.
I was talking about Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil Revelations is pretty good too.
Unless I said Resident Evil, I meant to say Devil May Cry.
Either or, I played both of those games. Shit.
Definitely look for the Devil May Cry HD collection because that's like a really good way to like get into it and for not very expensive. And like I said, it was of a class of time. It was definitely Devil May Cry was like the one that really revolutionized like hack and slash for like for the 21st century.
Just non-stop aggressive combo hits that just like take you up to 90.
Well, I mean, for the time, yeah. I mean, nowadays it's pretty like I don't want to say underwhelming, but it's definitely dated by today's hack and slash standards. But for the time, man, that game blew a lot of people away.
Yeah, fucking now you got the current Devil May Cry 5, which is completely fucking bonkers.
It's insane, man. That game is like on
that
steroids.
Game is so like, dude, if you go back to the first Devil May Cry and then jump to Devil May Cry 5, you see leaps and bounds of how much.
You see just how much has changed since the first game. And I guess one other thing about Devil May Cry is that the sequel was underwhelming. And I mean, it's not bad, but
they definitely tried to make the sequel sound better than the first. Like, if you look at the back of the case, it's like
cool.
non-stop action.
I remember the one
from
thing
the creators of Devil May Cry 1. It's like, what? It's like you're making this sound like way better than it actually sounds.
Actually, the funny thing is, I don't even know if it was like. I think it might have been like one of those like reviewers. Like they usually have like a quote from like a reviewer of some kind on the box, and like it's still like cool as hell. I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't know.
I am shooting you.
And before I played the game, I was like, it looks cool because I got like that. They actually had like a PS2 collection, like all 3 games in like a slipcase. And so I looked at it, like, that looks kind of cool. I guess I'll try to check it out. And so then I play it, and I was like, man, this game. I mean, I guess it looks fine, but then like the enemies are like really retarded, and like that it gets really easy, and like you only get to basically use one weapon. That's just the sword. And I think you unlock some extra combos here and there. I think they try to focus more on just like unlocking new abilities and stuff more than like trying to have like a bunch of different weapons and stuff.
A skill tree?
No, it wasn't quite that in depth yet. I mean, this is probably like 2003 or something like that. I think it's been a couple years since the last game, and It's been a couple years since the last game, so it was actually. I was kind of surprised at just how much of a downgrade it actually kind of felt like. I mean, like I said, set piece wise, some of that like the bosses look cool, but they weren't like that hard, and so it really was not a difficult game to get through at all. It just was not. It's definitely the black
You
sheep.
could literally fly through Devil May Cry 2 in like 40 minutes.
It's definitely the black sheep of the game. That's why I was really glad that they actually eventually put out the couple years after that. They finally put out Devil May Cry 3, which is like probably like the epitome of like what Devil May Cry is about. Like that is probably like the most Devil May Cry game to ever Devil May Cry.
Besides 5.
Besides 5, yeah.
4 did kind of have it, but then it's like it was kind of hidden. There's some parts of that game that's definitely hit and miss with me with 4.
Yeah.
This is a little later on, 2005. I had to look this up. But what game had me fucking hooked just because it was fun in general was Destroy All Humans. I don't know if you guys
that was
played
a fun
that.
game.
Yeah, it was just a fun like sit down like.
I think I played the demo of that, but I never actually played the full game. But I was always aware of that game for a while.
You were
another
what?
game I used to play so much called
Destroy All
Billy
Humans.
Hatcher.
You say you were
if guys
afraid of
ever
that
played
game?
that.
Oh, sorry, what? Nah, just for two people were talking at the same time. What?
Did you say you were afraid of that game?
No, I said I had the demo. I think I played a demo of that game, but I never got a chance to play it.
Okay.
Like
No,
the full game.
That was actually a really good game. It's just fun. Like, you know, you're a pissed off alien for no reason, and you got to do all these missions, just work your way into the government, take this, move that. You know, it's just your typical run around. It sort of, I guess that could be an open world.
Was it kind of like I only probably played the demo. It's been so many years, but I remember being like a third person shooter.
In a sense, yeah. I mean, you had like different powers like telekinesis, and like you could bring in like a UFO and blast shit up and throw things around and just do stupid stuff, and you disguise yourself as humans and run around listening to information, like get information. And fuck, that was a really fun game. I was super excited when I saw they were making a remake, but I never got the chance to play it. Unfortunately.
Oh, they remade the game. I didn't know that. I haven't thought about that game in a while. Actually, in a few years.
Well, I was thinking because I don't know when I got my Xbox. I may have got my Xbox in like I want to say 2002.
Yeah.
Because I know when I did get my Xbox, my uncle gave me the Game of the Year edition for Halo.
Oh yeah. Oh,
so I don't know if right. So I was like, okay, cool. I got I got an Xbox and this scary ass game because you know the first mission when you're running through the corridors in Halo, and it's just all dark and shit, and you run into the grunt, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? Yeah, I was a little kid, so I was scared shitless, and then the scare factor kind of
there's sort of, especially like the way like the aliens look in that game, and for like somebody that's that young, I can see that being a little intimidating at the first time.
It was.
Like, holy shit! What?
Oh goddamn!
But anyway, what was that one game you were talking about? Billy Hatch? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's like a I don't know. It was made by Sega, but like Sega. I remember it being just this wild, crazy game.
Billy Hatch and the Giant Egg, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy good game.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah,
I had a Sega for a while.
Because
it's one of those rare games.
I looked that up and I saw like, oh yeah, he was like wearing a chicken suit.
Was it Billy Hatch and the Wild Egg?
Yeah, and the Giant Egg.
No, Giant Egg.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played that one actually.
Yeah,
but I always
game
knew about
and
it.
Katamari were like addicting.
Oh yeah.
Who the fuck had this? I think Murphy Claus had this game for his GameCube. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to say I never played it, but I think I saw it. He had a whole bunch of GameCube games. That was fucking pretty cool.
I don't think I had a GameCube until about high school.
Dude, those things are indestructible. Like
yeah,
I accidentally kicked it.
Maybe it was middle school. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly when I think it might have been middle school.
I don't even remember you having one.
I've had one for a few years now, for like over a good while now. I've had one since my school
Well,
days.
shit, didn't even know. But I kicked one like hard once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he did the same thing too. And no, he kicked it, and it wasn't like all at the same time, but One time he kicked it, things still worked just fine.
Yeah, and it's like,
And then-
nope, I'm still good. You
Yeah,
can't
when
kill
I had
me.
it, I ripped the cord back,
the cock?
forgetting that it was connected.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You
So
just did
when
some
that
big
happened,
damage
like,
to that fucker, didn't
yeah,
you?
dude, it came flying out, tumbling. Just like, oh shit, fuck.
Yeah, that's another that console came out the same year as the Xbox, actually.
Did it?
Mm-hmm. They both came out in 2001.
Fuck.
You
There
know,
we go.
and the
okay.
funny thing is that I guess legally in the United States anyway, the PS2 is old enough to drink now.
It's the what?
It's legally in the United States, the PS2 is old enough to drink now because it's 21.
Okay, yeah, I was like, wait, what? I didn't. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
The PS2 came out. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, these consoles, man, they're like in their 20s now, man.
God damn.
It's
They're
like,
catching up
holy
with us,
shit.
dude. They're catching
Swear.
up.
Pretty much. Like, that's weird how, like, vintage they are nowadays.
No, it really is. I mean, and to think that there's consoles like even go further back too. Like even
Yeah.
if you just the PC, like they had the first games. They really did.
Well, I mean, shit, if you really want to get technical, PC gaming's been around since, like, the 70s and
Mhm.
shit, you know?
Like they're super old. They're old enough to be our grandfathers, or not grandfathers, our parents.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, I know they had, like, the Atari and stuff back in the 70s, but I don't. It's not, I think there was, like, actual, like, PCs that you could
What's
use at
crazy
the
is
time
I
to play
never
games.
owned an Atari ever.
I've never had an Atari.
When did
either.
the like
I think
personal
the Atari like,
computer
came
come
out,
out?
like, well, like,
That
70s.
shit came out in like the
70s.
60s.
I thought it
No,
was.
they're
no, I
talking
thought
about,
it
like,
was
the
71.
home, like, the Atari 2600, that came out probably, like, I want to say that came out, like, 76 or 7 or something like that. I want to say it might be a little. Yes, yeah, September of '77. And I was right about on my second guess because that's
Sorry about that.
77. Yeah, that came out September of '77, and I think
Oh,
that
yeah, I thought it was 71, but I was close.
No, well, I think like before that they had there was like the Magnavox Odyssey, which came out in like the early to mid '70s or something like that.
I'm just
But
imagining.
that was like even more like because I know that the Angry Video
Magnum Box Odyssey.
Magnavox. So that was actually an episode on the Angry Video Game Nerd, and I think that I think he was talking about the Magnavox Odyssey 2, which I think that came out. Oh well, let's see. It says EU December '78, but I thought that was older than that. Huh. But I do know that the 79. Oh, okay. I guess it, or maybe it was
Magnavox. Okay.
Magnavox. Yeah, but I just know that was
Pondio, we should get some, or you should find me some,
Oh yeah, okay, here it goes. Yeah, no, yeah, there it
Butt
was.
plug?
72.
Yeah.
That was the first one. Like Magnavox Odyssey came out in 1972.
Need that bud plug.
Wait, what? What? Oh, okay. Just making this freaking podcast all weird. And
No, I
crap.
said bud plug, not butt plug.
Yeah, and then they
plug.
discontinued it in 1975.
Yeah, it didn't last very long. Then I think it immediately went to the Magnavox Odyssey 2, which I think came out like 78 or 9. But yeah, Magnavox did not last very long in the console
No.
market.
But apparently, the equivalent to its release price back then to now,
Yeah.
it'd be, if you were to buy one for its price then, you would be paying $618 for it now.
Damn.
Hey,
Yeah.
it'd be like, it wouldn't be that different buy a PS3 in 2006.
True.
Right?
So even then, that's probably
Yeah,
skyrocketing about
those
too
were,
now.
yeah, I remember people were going crazy for that, like, scalp.
Remember that ugly ass controller that they wanted, that they were marketing it with at first? It was like all golden looking and like it was like this weird ass shape. Like if you look at a PS3, like an original, like the original PS3 controller, like what they were like, the concept of it was like, yeah, no, it was not. It did not look good.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I guess you're talking like concept PS3 controller, and then yeah, it was very weird looking.
I don't know. You might have to find one because I'm just seeing regular PS3 controllers.
No, just having like concept PS3 controller.
Oh, concept.
Yeah, because I mean they didn't ship it with this, but like all the advertisements that were like that you would see when they were promoting the PS3, it was like, damn, that is such a funky ass looking controller. Like these like it was like really elongated and had like it literally was just like almost like a weird boomerang thing.
Yeah. That thing was weird as fuck. Dude, that gave me anxiety looking at it. Like,
I was like, yeah, I'm glad that they ended up not sticking with that design in the
the
end.
boomerang. It's so you can throw it at your fucking little brother's head.
Yeah,
It comes back
basically,
to
it was
you.
like this weird ass boomerang 6-axis looking fucking thing.
Like for real, dude. This thing
I
is
mean, I
fucking
like
ugly.
the color that they were going with, like on the original concept of that, and then like the actual console. But I just didn't. I just thought the controller just was like, yeah, it's a little bit too freaky and weird, and probably
Just
not.
what the
I don't even know if it's
fuck?
ergonomically good or
Just
not.
what the
Dude, it's just like god awful. God damn, dude, I hope they fired that guy.
Really?
I
don't
really
know
do.
about
I
that,
hope they
but-
fired the guy that was
Well, I
like.
don't know about that, but yeah, that
I
was
definitely do, because this thing is just like, what the fuck would you do that? Like,
I wonder what it'd be like to hold one of those things in my hand. I bet that would feel so weird. And
Yeah.
especially when you look at like the top buttons on top. I've never actually seen the back of the thing, so I don't even know what its triggers are gonna look like.
it probably doesn't even have any. It's probably like
I don't know.
new age. You don't need them.
You don't need them. You just need your feet.
Yeah, like it comes with a pedal, like press. Fuck, man, this thing's so ugly.
I did like the silver look of that. I mean, it's funny because the PlayStation 3 actually looks exactly the same. Like when it was finally released.
Yeah, yeah.
But I kind of wish they would have like stuck with like that standard color, having it like in that silver look. That looked really cool. But when people actually started getting it on the market, they just went with like a black color that we all know. So I was like, well, you know.
There's
whatever.
one.
I was excited for it regardless, even with the funky ass looking controller. Like, yeah, PS3, because I had like a PS1 and a PS2.
Well, I
so
see
like,
this
oh, shit,
concept right
PS3.
here for a PS3, and it just looks like a really large PS2.
I mean, they probably had different designs for it.
Yeah, with like a 2-disc tray.
I don't think I've seen that one
controller
before.
ports.
And I said all I ever saw back in the day was just like what we know of as like the fat model, but in silver. And I said,
Oh, what the fuck is this? It's like a disc or something. Wait, what the fuck? PS4. Dude, the PS4 concept design looks weird too.
oh yeah, it's not. I mean, like Sony usually goes kind of.
Stupid.
They usually kind of go all out on like other concepts sometimes, no matter how ugly they are.
Yeah, because the one I'm looking at, they don't show the full thing, but it looks like a fucking Roomba.
Like a Roomba?
Yeah.
That's weird. Like so, it looks like a round, like disc-looking thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
That is very strange. Very
That'd
strange
be-
indeed.
This one right here looks pretty cool. I don't know. Like, I guess I like the PS3 Slim. I thought that was a cool design.
Oh yeah, it was.
I mean, it just looked like that's how it should have looked to begin with.
What,
honestly.
the PS3?
Yeah, the PS3 Slim.
Oh yeah, basically the
I
one
miss that.
the one that I got.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, didn't you used to have one of those, can't you?
Yeah, I used to have one of those and a PS2 Slim.
Yep.
But the
Yeah.
PS2 Slim is always ass to me.
You think?
You always thought it was ass.
Yeah, it's always
come?
ass because the game stopped working after a while on it.
Not really. I never had problems with the
Shit,
PS3
I remember,
Slim yet.
dude, with the fucking
The
GameCube.
PS2 the fat model PS2 is the one that always crapped out on me. I went through like
I
3 or
never
4
had
of those
either
fucking
of 'em.
things.
Damn.
But I remember the GameCube, it would still play the disc even if you had like the disc tray popped open.
Oh really? It would still spin it?
Yeah, it
Oh,
still
that's
spin it
interesting.
and read it.
That's actually really interesting.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I never tried that.
Thing. Well, I think one time it just like, because after so much damage, like the spring thing to keep it shut on
Oh, right.
where your
Like,
clauses, like
It won't stay
GameCube.
closed after a while.
Yeah, so you have to
Oh,
put something
I
on
see,
top of
yeah.
it.
I didn't
But
hear that
it's still-
happen to
still played?
GameCubes.
You would have to shut it to like
Yeah.
get it started, but then after a while you could just let it pop open and you'd still be fine.
The GameCube nor the Xbox, they'll never had like a slimmer version of those. Like that's just what you had, you know.
Yeah, they couldn't
the
make it.
GameCube.
That'd be funny if they made a game rectangle.
Or,
Yeah.
I mean,
Game
all a
rectangle.
GameCube Slim would be would just be like a smaller cube.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean,
pretty
yeah,
much.
and it was already compact for what it was. So
Yeah, the
it didn't
discs
Hell
were
yeah.
tiny.
The
Like, that's
motherfuckers were
weird.
tiny as shit.
That's what I mean. Like the whole system, they didn't need a Slim. It was already
No.
like small when you got it.
That is kind of weird how Nintendo works. Because their Nintendo 64 looks completely different from the GameCube.
Yeah, they were really experimental with like their controllers. And
Oh
even
yeah. And then what? After that came the Wii.
I do think that
And then the Wii U.
and then of course up
Wii
to the
U.
Switch.
Wii U,
I think
Wii
that the
U, Wii U.
GameCube might have had like one of the best controllers though.
The
I don't know. The
GameCube.
Switch has got a
liked
pretty
it.
good controller too.
I mean, in terms of for the time,
Yeah,
I thought the GameCube was one of the best
I
controllers.
really liked it. Dude, the original Xbox, that had some fat fucking...
Dude, that Duke
Dude,
They
controller.
definitely
Back
dwindled
controller.
down on them.
That
Yeah.
that freaking Duke controller, man.
That was huge.
That was stupid big.
Yeah, that was
Especially when I
another,
was a
like, I
kid.
hope they
I
fired
picked
that
up one
guy,
of those
too.
things. I was like, man, my fingers could like barely wrap around the
No,
damn
yeah.
fucking like the handles on that thing.
No, I definitely hope they fired that guy, too.
Yeah, that was plus the buttons were like stretched downward. Remember that? Like the buttons looked warped. Like in terms, I mean, yeah, they're still functionally buttons, but just the way they're designed,
yeah.
like they had them like kind of like almost like
At an angle. Yeah,
angle
that's what
and
it
like
was,
going
yeah.
downward for some reason.
Mhm.
Like they stretched the buttons out. To there's like some really weird like stretched like aesthetic that they were going with on
Almost
that
like
controller.
then with that you almost had to press like the button harder.
Yeah, and there's like I think that one had like other. Didn't I think all it was just like a plus sized
Let's
controller.
Look it up.
Yeah, I gotta look that one up really quick because I'm like, what the fuck?
Original Xbox controller.
Yeah, known as
The
the
fat
Duke.
ass motherfucker.
Yeah, there you go.
That
And
bitch
even
was
like
fat.
The Fat Duke.
the Duke. It sounds like
That's
you're
what it
taking.
is.
Fat Duke
Yeah.
Rooney.
Sounds like you're taking a shit or something. I mean,
yeah,
when
you
you're
Fat Duke. But no, yeah, the Duke fucking controllers. Those are big.
it was a big ass controller, and I think that was also I don't know if this one had it.
I think that's what I
but-
liked about the PlayStation controllers, that they relatively stayed the same no matter
Yeah,
how
no,
many
yeah, those were
iterations it
comfortable
went
controllers.
through.
I remember that.
That's like the most consistent controller, and
No
it
matter how
finally
many
got.
iterations it went through, it
Fucking
still stayed the
boomerang
same.
controller. That was just stupid.
No, yeah, that was like sorry, that was just like
Now,
why?
fucking Nintendo and Sega controllers are kind of crazy.
Yeah, though they're all over the damn place.
Seriously, they really are.
And
Well,
Nintendo
I
64
feel like Sega stayed the same.
Well, no, because they had the big ass stupid controller with like 80 buttons on it. You remember that?
Well, I know that the Saturn was just
No,
kind of like a
no.
more advanced
They had like
version of the
there's like a
six-button
controller. If you can look that up, there's a little Sega controller that has like a lot of fucking buttons on it. Like, and the games they were making didn't require that many fucking buttons.
Well, I know that the Saturn was just like a more advanced version of the 6-button version of the Genesis controller. It just has shoulder buttons now instead of not shoulder buttons. And I thought that was I thought
yeah,
that
the
was
Sega
an okay
Saturn
controller.
was competing with the PlayStation, and they were relatively
I thought
neck and neck.
I did think that the Saturn's games looked better.
Yeah, they did look better, but the only crappy thing about the Sega Saturn is that the games took longer to load.
That they did. I remember I played Virtua Fighter 2 on that thing like constantly. I had so much fun playing that game.
Yeah, I bet you were sitting there for about a good 6 minutes for load time.
I remember Sega controllers feeling really
I
light.
played it pretty competently. It's just when Durl, he had to fight Durl, the secret boss. Like I would beat him sometimes. Her. I mean, yeah. I had to say her. I meant to say her. But like I beat her a few times. But like a lot of times she'd beat me. So like, God damn you, Durl. Like I don't know why.
Durl is, oh my god, I can't even talk about Durl because she's so hard. Like she was like Alpha 152 before they ever invented Alpha 152.
Yeah,
in
no,
real
it's
life.
really weird how similar, like how much of like a. It's funny because Tomonobu Itagaki is the one that came up with Dead or Alive, so like I think he had some like inspiration from Virtua Fighter.
Yeah.
So in some, I want to say it's a spiritual successor because they were still, but it was definitely like it felt like a cousin of Virtua Fighter
Mm-hmm.
to some degree. You know, and I'm pretty sure there's probably some video that could explain why they have like such a similar vibe to them. Even though I do find that Dead or Alive was a little bit more high octane.
I kind of think it's like the same situation with SNK and Capcom, because you know how some of the developers from Street Fighter 2 left Capcom and made Fatal Fury and shit and King of Fighters?
Yeah, pretty. Well, I mean, that was sort of the thing with
I want to say like some of the developers from fucking Virtua Fighter probably joined up with Tomonobu and probably goddamn had some ideas for themselves and shit. Well, not for themselves, but for the project they were working on.
Well, I know that Tomonobu had like some inspiration from like Virtua Fighter, obviously, but then like I think like Mortal Kombat 2 a little bit because like the state, because you know how there's like stage transitions throughout the game depending where you hit a character, and I think there's also I think there's also the sexual appeal aspect definitely came from like
I really
Fatal
hope,
Fury.
I really hope in the next Mortal Kombat game that stage transitions become a thing again because, good lord, that shit is so dope.
Yeah.
Like, when they did it in Deception, Armageddon, Deception and Armageddon, I thought that was, like, the coolest thing ever, that you could just knock a dude all the way to the next stage.
Yeah.
Or knock a dude off a roof and he just flies, like, 40 feet to the ground and still can get up and fight you.
I fucking love those two games, Deception and Armageddon.
Yeah,
really
I
do.
love Deception, but
those were the first ones to come out
I have a
for
love and
Xbox,
hate
so-
relationship with Armageddon.
I feel that. A lot of people do. I love the
Motherfucking
character
Armageddon.
creation on that.
Yeah,
That was
that's the
fucking
only
sick
thing
as
that keeps that game
shit.
alive, to be honest.
Is the character creation?
Yeah, because Armageddon really, like, it had, like, you can only do so much with so little time they had on their hands. And I know because they tried to add every fucking character in existence. And
Right, which is sick of them.
like, it's a
I love
sick
that
idea,
so
but in
much.
concept, like, when you put it on paper, it's like, oh shit, we added way too many characters and we can't fit that many
fuck it.
styles in the game.
Too
And
many.
we can't fucking program that many fatalities in time. So what do? They do fucking come up with this shit called creative fatality, where it's like, oh yeah, you do the ripping off of the arms and the head twisting and the
And I love that.
head ripping and shit. That was cool until you really want all the characters to have their own personality instead of you just doing it.
No, I get that, though. Yeah, you want to do
Yeah.
characters that everybody knows and loves. to still
Because
have
then,
the
like,
same
when you're
traits.
like, you kind of wish, like, fucking, because when you're doing the head rip with Sub-Zero in that game, it's like, oh, cool. It's like, I'm doing the head rip with Sub-Zero. But then when you're doing it with everybody, it's like, okay, everybody has the same fatality now.
Mhm.
Yeah, speaking of on the topic of fighting
That's
games,
just one of my gripes with Armageddon, was the creative fatality and too many fucking characters.
yeah, no, that game was just an absolute. It wasn't.
I was like
It
to
wasn't
see-
a mess, but it definitely wasn't a thought-out plan.
It
I would like to
was
see
a clusterfuck of things.
I would like to see a remaster of that game. A remake, actually. A remake.
Man,
Remake.
there would have
Give
to
me
be
a
so
remake.
much time put into it.
I know.
Like, there would have to be like 2 to 3 years put into that game for it to be completely viable.
Well, I mean, even now, it could be. There's just. They have the resources to do that.
I think that's just one of those games where like I'm definitely glad we're past like the Armageddon days because I felt like that was starting to become the dark days of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, those definitely were the dark days.
Yeah,
of
'cause
Mortal
of
Kombat. That's
that-
why Mortal Kombat 11 exists.
That's why we had to end up making
Well, I
Mortal
mean,
Kombat
Mortal
9.
Kombat 9, my
Yeah,
bad.
we had to they had to reboot the whole fucking series because they were we got ourselves
Yeah, we
way
kind of
deep.
fucked up at the end, making endings
And
with
then
no
they tried to-
characters.
Then they tried to make a fucking crossover with fucking DC and shit.
Yeah,
which-
that
was.
failed.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like.
I
it
enjoyed
wasn't
it for what it
but
was.
Man, it was definitely better than Armageddon. I can say that.
There's a reason why people don't finally look back on that game because
There's two
Well,
games.
didn't-
Actually, there's 4. Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
When
you
did-
like Mortal Kombat mythologies, but like fucking,
Oh, yeah,
there's
that
4
game-
games that people don't look back on.
Yeah.
Armageddon, fucking, Special Forces.
Yeah, Special Forces is probably an absolute.
Mythologies.
That game was
and,
absolutely like kind of
fucking.
bad.
What was? There was just
but-
another game I was just talking about. DC. Yeah, those are the 4 black sheep of Mortal Kombat.
No, I've actually played Mortal Kombat Special Forces, and I remember
I
getting
didn't
through
even,
a
I've
little
never
bit.
fucking heard of it.
I remember
I played
wanting
on
to
places-
shoot
so many
myself in the
places.
brain after playing that game, and mad that I even made my mom spend money to rent that game at a fucking.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's kind of funny because it's one of those like top-down games where like it's like you're looking up
Oh.
from like okay, it's still like an action beat 'em up
It's
game,
one of
but
those overhead games.
yeah, an overhead,
That's
overhead
weird.
game. It's one of those overhead games, but
That's weird.
yeah, it wasn't like a great game. It was
That doesn't
not.
sound like it would work for Mortal Kombat.
I remember playing it, and I remember it being kind of
Hell,
like, really
I
hard.
would rather deal with falling off fucking pits in the wind stage than playing Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
Man, Sub-Zero, for sure, I could definitely understand why people would get like really frustrated with that game because in terms of controls, like it plays like a Mortal Kombat game, but then like it has aspects
Special
of an action
Forces.
platformer.
Yeah,
But like it's kind of like
that's where they didn't flesh it out too good at.
it takes a lot of time to get used to. I mean, you can get used to it. You can get the feel for the controls, but like I could see it.
You
it
have to
definitely
literally,
it definitely
that game
turns
is
people off.
literally trial and error. You literally have to die just to progress through that game. Because I'm telling you now, somebody playing through Mortal Kombat Mythologies blind is not gonna beat that on their first playthrough.
No,
You had this game, didn't you, King?
Yeah, I did at one point. I mean, I still do, but I think it stopped working. The game's kinda...
Okay, because the cover looks really familiar.
Yeah, it's literally the game about Sub-Zero, but the way they did it was just
I think
like...
Quan Chi's on the cover, too, I think.
Nah, Jax is.
Oh, you're talking about Special Forces still. Oh,
Yeah,
you
I'm
are.
sorry.
No, we went... Yeah, so we're kind of...
Yeah, I
That
looked.
didn't
I
even
had
look
to,
like Jax. Like,
Well, I had to look it up because I was like,
I think
I
he
don't
was
remember
still
playing
thinking
this.
about Special Forces. We kind of moved on from that.
Yeah, I was looking it up.
I have
I've never...
very limited history of Special Forces. I'd probably play like the first stage, and I don't think I'd like... I don't know. I stopped caring or something.
I didn't. To be honest, I never like fucking. After I played Mortal Kombat Special Forces, I was like, man, Mortal Kombat games can't get much worse than this.
Because even as far as I understand, even Sub-Zero has its fans, and it does have a little bit of nuance to it. But as far as I know, Special Forces, nobody likes that game. Period.
Nobody fucking like. And if you do like that game, you need to go to a fucking mental asylum.
I guess.
And rip your own asshole out.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Because there's some definitely wrong with you if you like that game.
2 or 3 people that like that game, or is that?
Yeah, the 2 or 3.
Or at least I do. I don't
Like
know
the 1%ers on the planet that like that game.
I don't know about Kenshi though.
I fucking hate that game.
Yeah, no.
I do not like
understand
Mortal
the
Kombat
rule.
Special Forces.
Oh gosh.
The game that I will literally, the game that I literally spent most of my childhood playing was Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. That was the game. That's the game
like
they
that
really
game.
need to motherfucking. They
Yeah.
really need to
really
like.
enjoyed that game.
They really need to go in and like remaster that game or fucking at least make a sequel.
You know, I think Kenshi's was like trying to get me to play that game for years.
I've been trying to get you to play that game.
Dude,
with
it's
me
a fucking
forever.
great
It's
game, and it's a
fucking
co-op game.
amazing game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it looks good. I just never found the
You
time
need
to
to
play
play it. You need to play
Definitely
it.
need to play it because after you beat the game, you get to unlock Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and then you get to go through the game as Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Although I will admit that I don't know why they didn't just switch the names around in the cutscenes because it's kind of weird hearing Liu Kang and Kung Lao's voice kind of over Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
That could be maybe
with their mannerisms still in the cutscene. It's like, what the hell? You might as well just say this is Kung Lao Liu Kang dressing up as Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
There could
Well,
be
they
a
don't wanna
mod for it.
tell you out
Somebody
loud.
might have modded the game for that.
Oh,
Shit,
yeah.
if it ever comes out on PC and gets remastered.
It'd be cool if it did.
Shit, NetherRealm, if you're listening to us, you niggas need to remaster Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, man.
I definitely remember that game. That was
Good
fucking a
old
great
Shaolin Monks.
game.
That's
Great game.
pretty good game. I mean,
I think I got that for my
I've only ever watched
birthday.
Kenshi play it, though. I never actually picked it up and played it myself.
I actually played through that game with and we almost beat it, but then we ended up dying to Shao Kahn at the end of the game, and he just gave up, and then I
Oh,
gave
yeah, I
up.
remember that, yeah.
I have no
He
idea what
got
happened to my
pissed from
copy.
my understanding. That's what you told me.
Oh, I do know what happened to my copy. It's at my grandparents' house.
Is it still there?
I think so. I think I gave them my old Xbox.
Why'd you give it? What, did they want to play Xbox or something?
No, just for the kids and like when the kids came
see,
over.
if you ever go back to your grandpa, let's see if you can find that game.
Oh, well, I'll look for
It's
it.
funny because I actually do have like a empty case of the game.
I mean, I do have it.
I have an empty case of the Xbox version of the game.
These fucking
Damn.
bugs.
I don't know if that's yours or not. It might be. It might have your name marked on it. And if
could
that's the
be.
case, then the disc is probably still at your grandparents' house, maybe.
I don't know. I have to
Oh,
look.
next time you go there, see if you can find
Yeah.
it. You know, that'd be cool. I mean,
Dude, even the old Godzilla games, I thought those were pretty fun.
didn't they have those like on PS2 and Xbox?
Oh man, y'all
pretty
just
sure
made
they
me
had
think
them
of
on
a
PS2,
game
yeah.
on GameCube that I used to play so much. It's called Alien Homid. If
Alien
you've ever
who?
played
Alien-
Alien Homid, it's like basically like Contra.
Wasn't that
On the
Alien
GameCube?
Hominid or something?
Yeah, it's like Alien Homid.
I'm pretty sure
How
it's
many
Alien
of these
Hominid.
minutes?
I know what you're talking about. That's like that little yellow looking dude on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's a classic game that I never played either.
Yeah.
I always knew about it,
I
though.
played the fuck out of that game.
I'd always seen it advertised everywhere.
I remember having a stack of video games back in the day.
Bro, I had so many video games
That was
back in
the
the day, dog. I don't know what happened to my
No
PS2
idea.
collection.
I know every time like I get locked up, my mom would like
Mhm.
clean my entire room and rearrange everything and yada yada yada. So I'd get out and I would have no idea where anything is, if she got rid of things, if she sold things off, if like just over the years I lost things, unfortunately.
Oh, that happens to all of us.
Yeah.
You sort of lose stuff after a while.
It's definitely
It's kind of
fucking
one of those
sucks.
like, inevitable thing. It just happens. You know, you can't control that aspect of like reality where things just end up getting lost or pieces of things. You
I
know,
wish they wouldn't. I wish if I could wish.
things.
I
Everything
would wish I
eventually
would
breaks at some
find
point.
everything I lost.
Huh?
If I had a wish, I would wish I could find everything I lost.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's everybody's wish right there.
Mhm.
And then once you get everything back, hopefully you can get a second wish. Okay, let me like reorganize it now too.
Yeah.
You
Let me
know,
have a place to put everything. Shit.
and actually neatly organized. It just having to be like just just stacked everywhere, just in piles somewhere or some shit. You know, so
Yeah, that'd be fucking awesome.
it would be awesome. But you know what else was awesome? Freaking CVS 2.
This is the tournament for the new millennium. You'll experience the most exciting battle in history. Let's get ready to battle. Feel the intensity when power and technique collide. Crush the competition. A battle beyond your imagination. Let the martial arts madness begin. 2001 is the year we make contact. Welcome to the revolution.
Oh
Fight.
yeah.
Those two.
Yeah, Capcom versus SNK 2.
Capcom
Oh.
versus SNK 2 is one of the greatest
Match
fighting
of the millennium, if I remember.
I didn't
I
get to
think
play
my
the first.
friend
I didn't completely
had
own
that.
CVS 2 because when I was getting babysat by this lady named back in the day when I used to go to Oak Street.
Yeah.
And she had the first Capcom versus SNK 2 for the PlayStation.
Oh,
And
really?
I played that game religiously every time I went over there.
Oh, the first CVS game.
Yeah, I played
Capcom
it damn
versus
near
SNK.
every day I went over there.
Yeah, I actually played that one in Mexico, actually, in
Did you?
2003, yeah.
Shit.
I put that when I was in Mexico, 2003, and it was pretty good, actually. I really enjoy like the artwork that they would have between loading screens.
I
Like the
also
different
enjoyed the
characters?
fact that there would
Lucky
be like
bastard.
artwork of characters who weren't even
Yeah, I
in the
know,
game.
right? I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I swear to God, I think I saw, it wasn't like, oh man, there was a lot of characters. Like Andy was in there.
Yeah, Andy was there. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, why are all these characters here that we can't play as? Yeah, Andy, for some reason, never ever showed up in either CVS game, which I
Nope.
thought was strange. He wasn't even an SVC. Yeah,
No.
I was like, man, why this not love for Andy? He's basically he's
He's
Terry's Ken.
Yeah, he's the Ken of. Well, I guess Rock would be that now.
Well, I guess, yeah, because Rock ended up being in CVS 2. Yeah, which is interesting. But yeah, CVS 2 was a lot of fun. I always liked the artwork of like all their portraits and stuff. I even like that there was like choice like depending on what groove you would pick, like the artwork would change from SNK
Yeah,
style
if you
to
pick
Capcom
the
style.
S or
Ooh,
N or
that'd be
K.
really fucking cool.
Yeah,
to
if you
see.
pick the S or
Really.
N or K groove, you would get like the kind of photorealistic versions of the characters.
Yeah.
And then if
Fuck,
you
that's cool as fuck.
and
dude.
if you
Yeah.
and if you pick the Cap groove, you'd get the anime version, like anime.
Right, more of like
Yeah, like
style,
a more
yeah.
2D, less like.
And it was cool
Uh-huh.
because like the SNK artist drew the Capcom characters, and the Capcom artist drew the SNK characters.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
there
there was
was
a lot of love and
I was
care
about
put
to say
into
that.
those
Yeah,
two
that's
games.
love
like,
right there.
There's
There's a lot of love and care, and also into the MVC games too. Like there was a lot of love and care put into the versus titles.
Capcom.
Oh yeah, gosh, I don't know how many discussions that me and Kenchi have had about like the CVS games. You know,
Quite a ton.
so many.
quite
We've had many discussions about whether or not there'd be a CVS
Quite a
3.
Like they're more than likely at this point they have no choice but to make a CVS 3. Harada said he's already canceling Tekken X Street Fighter. He might as well, the Capcom might as well hit up SNK and be like, hey, we still going about
Yeah, they canceled that game a long time ago because I remember that like literally they were gonna announce Tekken Cross Street Fighter, but then Street Fighter Cross Tekken didn't do so hot, so then like Harada like backed off on the project, and I think it ended up getting canceled.
Tekken X Street Fighter would have been so much better.
Man, I mean it's already been kind of done with like Akuma's appearance in Tekken 7 to prove that hey, yeah, that's actually a viable thing that's cool if done right. You know, that's the one thing that always annoyed me about Street Fighter Cross Tekken is the fact that I had to relearn all my Tekken characters.
Yeah, all of the Tekken, you have to literally play them like Street Fighter.
You have to relearn all those characters, and that's why, honestly, as soon as I tried playing them, I was basically done with the game. Like, I refused to relearn my characters. They should have implemented them somehow, like the Street Fighter moves, or the Tekken moves in the Street Fighter better than what they did. I was not happy. And it's even more. I want to say I guess it does sort of add insult, or not even that. Just like to throw salt in the wound a little bit. Like many years later, when Tekken 7 came out and Akuma was playable, they successfully implemented Street Fighter mechanics into the Tekken. Tekken.
They couldn't decide which version of Akuma they wanted to use, which was crazy because they were either gonna go with they ended up going with Street Fighter 4, but they wanted to put the incarnation of Street Fighter 5 in there too. But the thing is, if you can't really program a V trigger come back into a Tekken game, it wouldn't work.
It'd be really weird. Yeah, there's like specific mechanics that really only worked with like Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that they kind of just went with older versions of Akuma and this just kind of just went with like more basic EX moves instead of like trying to do all the more unique stuff in Street Fighter 5. So I was definitely happy with how they portrayed Akuma in Tekken 7. This is what Capcom should have done when they were trying to make all the Tekken characters being Street Fighter.
I think Capcom's problem was that they were trying to make the Tekken characters overly complicated
or something. I don't know.
If you really think about it, Tekken is kind of a complicated game, and I think trying to implement that in Street Fighter when Street Fighter is already like a technically advanced button pressing game, like it just doesn't work with Tekken characters because Tekken you don't really have to do much in Tekken to learn about Tekken, but if you're really going to sit down and learn the mechanics of Tekken, then yeah, it's gonna be different.
Well, I mean, it's easy to pick up and difficult to master, like in its own weird way. That's not like Street Fighter. The thing
that you really gotta master in that game is combos.
I do think the one thing that I think Tekken probably had an easier time with, really, though, is the fact that like it had more like freedom because like every limb corresponds to a button. Like I think that because it already had so much like fluidity that it was easy to add stuff in without having to really take anything out. Mm-hmm. Where I think Street Fighter had sort of the opposite problem because it's just a 2D fighter. You know, you only move in two directions. You don't have like the use of like having like a full 3D environment to move in. So then I could see how that might be kind of difficult to like try and implement certain Tekken moves into Street Fighter, because a lot of the move sets that are in Tekken are completely dependent on the fact that it's on a more 3D plane. Yeah. You know, but even that, I just think the one thing, because I remember trying to play Law, like one thing that would not have been hard to do is like you know how Law does like his flip kick. But that would have been really hard, but it was a completely different input on Street Fighter. Where I'm like, that's like one move that I think could have still been the same as in Tekken.
You know what's crazy? All they had to do was make Law play exactly like Fei Long. That was it. They butchered Law to me in that game.
He doesn't even play like Fei Long, which is so weird to me.
They definitely could have made him play like Fei Long.
That's the one. Yeah, I was like, man, they couldn't have him play Fei Long. So I'm like, but no, they did the.
But then I guess it would have been weird if they would have threw Fei, because I'm pretty sure they had an idea to throw Fei Long in that game, but then they were like, we already got Law.
I would have rather had Fei Long instead of Law, honestly, because they already had a character that they could have worked with. So you know, that's fine. I could live without Law. But then I guess
there are some Tekken characters that are broken in that game, though. I'm not gonna lie. Ogre, he is broken in Tekken, Street Fighter X Tekken. I've seen some niggas doing some crazy shit online with him. Yeah. And Haorong, he's pretty broken in Street Fighter X Tekken, and so is Heihachi. And Kazuya. Basically, all the Mishimas and Haorong are all broken. And Jin is broken as fuck, too.
Yeah, I've always meant to kind of go back and try my hand at that game again, see maybe if I'd... Because at the time, I was just... I don't think I gave it as much of a fair shot just because I just was really wanting the characters to play... The Tekken characters to play more like how they actually did in their game, but they just didn't, so I was like... I just don't want to... like to have to relearn everything. That's the problem I have with like
That's the case with every Street Fighter, dog.
That's the problem. Well, I mean, even Street Fighter, I'm like, Ryu and Ken still, for the most part, they have their nuances in each game, but like, there's always like a base core of what their characters were since Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, but like in Street Fighter 5, that shit gets tossed completely in the fucking out the window because they play so drastically different in this game. You wouldn't even think they were Shotos.
I mean, there's still like the Tatsus and the Hadokens.
Yeah, there's still the Tatsus and the Hadoken, but
even
the way
some basic heavy light and medium punches, some of those are consistent. But even then, I feel like I could still pick up Ryu and play him just fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like with Ryu, with Ryu, it's easy to get in with Ryu because people are afraid of his they're afraid of his throw game and they're afraid of his pressure. But with Ken, you have to play him completely different from Ryu because you don't want to people are expecting you to just do a random DP or do some stupid shit because they don't respect Ken in Street Fighter 5. So they're doing everything they can to disrespect you before you do anything. And it's like, okay, I guess I got to play stupid with Ken just to get a win. Whereas with Ryu, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to let you do your shit and get pressure and respect your pressure. But if you play with Ken, you have to literally do stupid shit because people do not respect you if they see you playing with Ken.
I've seen you do some dirty shit with Ken, though.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I was like, let me switch my characters up, man, because people just don't respect Ken in this game.
Yeah, Ken is definitely one of those guys that just does not get the love as much as Ryu.
I mean, he got pretty fucking buffed in Season 5. I'm not gonna lie. He got just as buffed
he's Mario's Luigi, unfortunately.
At first when Street Fighter 5, holy fucking God! When Street Fighter 5 first dropped, Ryu was of course, he was just on top, he was the buff character, if everybody could pick him up and play with him, and you fucking could win damn near every game with him. And Ken, you had to really fucking work your ass off just to win around with him. And towards the end, where the game is, the game's at the span of it, the end of its era now. So we got the final character Luke in there now. Now Ken is on par with Ryu now. He's just as good as Ryu, if not better, in this game. Well, even though his fireball, I still have nitpicks about how they handled him. I'm not gonna lie. They fucking Ryu's fireball is still fucking faster than Ken's for some reason, and I guess
I didn't really get because they both started training together, right?
See, but here's the thing. Here I go on the street.
No,
give
me.
Okay,
make sure to tag more directly into the mic.
Basically, they did train under the same master and learn the same techniques, but they've trained their techniques differently. So Ryu is focused more on his Hado, and Ken is focused more on his Shoryuken. That's why you see Ken's Shoryuken is more powerful than Ryu's, but Ryu's fireball game is way more powerful than Ken's. Because Ken doesn't really focus on his Hadoken. He's focused on developing techniques for his Shoryuken.
Yeah, that makes sense, though.
He definitely has more interesting, Shuriken Tatsu moves.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Or at least different.
He's got more.
Anyway.
He's the more combo eccentric character you want to play with. If you want a character that has combos and goes nuts and you can do crazy shit with, Ken is your guy. But if you want a character that is balanced and powerful as fuck, then Ryu is your man.
All right.
Ryu is definitely your guy.
And then there's the other Shoto archetypes Sakura. If you want a rushdown character but don't want to fucking do unsafe shit like you do with Ken, then you pick Sakura. If you just want a rushdown character that completely destroys your opponent, you pick Akuma or Evil Ryu.
Yeah, pretty much. Except they're kind
of. Or if you just want to joke around with your opponent and just fool around, you pick Dan. There's so many different Shoto archetypes that you can get into in Street Fighter, and that's what I like.
Dude, what year did the Street Fighter? You remember?
What?
I got it for my birthday. It's a Street Fighter anniversary.
Yeah.
What year did that come out?
That came out in 2006.
Did it?
2004, maybe?
Somewhere between. I thought it was 2005 or something.
I thought it was pretty.
It's somewhere between 2004, 5, or 6, dog. But I know exactly what he's talking about because I had the Street Fighter movie. I had the Street Fighter movie on it, and me and you quoted that movie, and that was the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, I remember sitting. Went long before I ever I think I started smoking weed. Yeah, I remember watching that movie over and over.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That when I literally went to go heat myself up something, I would literally shut that on and just watch that.
Yeah, just switch right over.
Hyper Street Fighter 2, the anniversary edition. That actually came out initially in December of 2003.
Yeah, I'm thinking man,
I love that game.
That is the
so
7th iteration of Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2, god damn it. That is the 7th iteration.
Everybody loves it.
Well, Hyper Street Fighter was kind of interesting because you could actually mix and match like different iterations.
You can mix and
of
match all the variations of
Street Fighter
different Street Fighter 2.
So it's actually that one's actually worth picking up because it's very unique to itself. You can't find it like on any collection or anything outside of that.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Really?
And I think wasn't like Street Fighter 3 just standard Street Fighter 3 Third Strike.
Oh yeah, it was just standard with the arranged music though. They added the arranged music.
Yeah, I think that was on that include the arranged music. Yeah, and of course like the edited Street Fighter 2 movie, which you don't get to see Chun-Li's titties, and it was not. Like, and fortunately, it's not. Like,
yeah, that's only in the Japanese version. They censored that.
The home video, like not the one off. Like I think even an American version, but like
you don't see them.
Like on the manga video version is when you would see that, but like not on like the collection there because kids are gonna be playing this and you can't see Chun-Li naked or anything.
Nope,
like
can't have that. Nope.
So yeah, sorry, not
I
for you.
I probably shouldn't say this on the podcast, but fuck it. I remember I used to like fucking when I just was like getting into masturbation.
Oh,
I was like pause the part where her boobs would be visible. And just be like, yeah, that's perfect.
This is it.
Wait a minute. I think that was more of a joke. I don't even think there was I'm pretty sure I had other ways, so I didn't need to worry about doing that.
I didn't have at the time I didn't have like a laptop or magazines.
So that's what you did?
Yeah.
I don't remember doing that. Not with Street Fighter Anniversary Collection.
That's hilarious as hell.
Well, the funny thing is that like Street Fighter 2, like the movie, like I said, I remember watching that like back in the 90s, when I used to live in Peoria.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that, you could actually see like Chun-Li naked and I'm like, holy shit.
Hilarious.
I was like, and I think that was like one of the few times I managed to actually see it. A lot of times like my parents wouldn't let me see those things. Like, I don't know, I guess I just happened to see it that one time.
As long as they did it once and not more than that, then they could get away with it.
But then I don't know, maybe they did compromise for that too. I don't remember. But I remember watching it.
I'll imagine, it got censored and removed here and there for different iterations.
I clearly remember watching Street Fighter 2 and then like that part happening. I was like, oh.
There's this.
I guess that happened. I think, and the funny thing is, I think I think now I remember what happened. I think my dad or somebody told me to close my eyes when that part happened. But like,
of course you didn't.
I got a dip, but then I still kind of like peeked through or something.
I remember those moments.
I still peeked through because I was like,
I remember this girl when I was younger. I was watching this nasty ass scene in this movie. I knew I wasn't supposed to be watching this shit, and fucking this girl tried to imitate the scene.
Yeah,
and I was like, we were like fucking 6 or 7, nigga.
Wait, what? Man, yeah, that's weird.
I mean, shit, she.
Whoa, she had the same age or something?
She was like 7 and I was like 5. So she knew a little bit more, but it doesn't really account for the fact that it was still weird. But like,
yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I'd need.
And that just proved in my mind, like, damn, girls move fast, like super fast. Like,
I guess.
Damn.
I mean, I guess I don't know. Some people just.
I really
up
think
on
girls
weird things.
really develop earlier than we do. I'm dead serious. What the hell? Like, I'm 5 and I don't know nothing about this, but you trying to do it to me? Well, we eventually did get caught though. My mom beat the shit out of me.
Oh, well, damn, that sucks. That
but
sucks.
she just got grounded. She didn't get a whooping. I got the whooping. That's what was gay about
you
it.
got the whoop, even though you didn't do really anything. She was all on you about shit.
Yeah,
whatever.
Then, goddamn, like a couple years later, when I had a babysitter, my babysitter like had. Oh no, that was nuts.
Yeah, but that would be a little bit nutty.
That was. I can't even like. When my mom found that out, that was when I just had to stay home by myself.
Yeah, that no you.
And rip.
Hey, Street Fighter though, man. I had so much fun playing that Anniversary Collection, and I think it was me and you, wasn't it? That we were like watching the movie. No. Sorry. When we were watching the movie Ponzi.
Huh?
Weren't we watching that together? I think me and Kenchi did at some point. I feel like all three of us have all watched that freaking movie. on the Street Fighter anniversary
definitely.
Oh yeah,
collection.
definitely. Fucking my favorite. There's some lines in there that are like fucking golden.
I haven't seen that movie for a long time.
You know, that movie actually just came out on Blu-ray not that long ago.
Really?
Yeah,
They
I want to
re-released
get it
it?
at some point.
Nice.
Came out on Blu-ray. I'm trying to like, and the other thing too is that the Fatal Fury films came out like
How many Street Fighter movies are there?
came out on
There
Blu-ray also.
are.
Oh, there's a bunch. I have 2 of them like on DVD. I have like
There's the Alpha Generations. There's Street Fighter 2.
I mean,
and
okay,
then there's
how many
Street Fighter.
how many good Street
no, they're
Fighter
good.
movies
No,
are
No, they're
there?
good. Those are good
Okay.
ones. Do not watch the live action ones though.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, don't.
Well,
I won't
unless you
watch
wanna
it.
let-
Unless you're watching Street Fighter 2 Assassin's Fist. That's the only good live action Street Fighter there is.
Yeah, and never actually got more seasons, did they?
Nope.
Oh.
I mean, it got like. It should have got another season, but for some reason, they ended up skipping all the way to Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, that was weird. I think that's why people kind
That
of
was
fell out.
the weirdest one. Like, they just started.
It's like,
you
oh,
guys
Laura's
just
here
started
now
on the
all of a
Alpha
sudden.
storyline, and you guys immediately
switch.
jumped to Street Fighter 5? What? That doesn't make sense.
No, I didn't. I was not happy with that. I was
Me
like, what-
neither. I was so thrown the fuck off. I mean, yeah, this is cool as shit. The characters look badass,
That's
but come on.
That was a fun thing because they were basically going straight into Street Fighter 2, and all of a sudden we skip a bunch of time now we're in the 5's timeline.
Like,
now. I'm
literally,
wait,
we met-
why?
and-
That
the
would
crazy
be really,
part
that sounds
is-
like the Halo Infinite shit.
The
like,
crazy
you
part
just
is they mentioned like
here
a
all of a
bunch of
sudden.
shit too in it. Like they were like, yeah, we took down Bison in his Shadow Law group a couple years back. Like you can't just mention Alpha and Street Fighter 2 and not flash back to that.
Yeah, and then what? 4 too? Are you skipping 4? Like what the fuck?
Well, that's them just throwing it in for.
I almost
the
wonder if
fans.
they just didn't have
But
the budget
if
to
you-
make Street Fighter.
You gotta
2.
okay. I'm gonna show you
for
this
the
shit.
events.
You'll watch Street Fighter Assassin's Fist and you'll get it, and you'll be like, oh okay. And then I'll show you Street Fighter Resurrection,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, what the fuck?
We'll definitely have to take time to watch that
Because it's
I did have
literally
fun
the
with
same
that.
characters.
It was
It's
good.
the same dudes who were Ryu and Ken in the Assassin's Fist, and it doesn't make sense because it's like, wait, how'd you guys get here? What the hell?
It was really good. Like it's like a YouTube series that you can watch like whenever, you know. So I
It's the
thought it was
same
cool.
thing with Mortal Kombat. Remember Mortal Kombat Legacy?
A little bit.
They have a few movies, right? The Legacies movies.
The Legacy?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
even-
No,
Mortal Kombat?
they were just like episodes.
okay.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
saw,
like
I saw something on
what the hell was
HBO
Mortal Kombat
Max.
Legacy?
Oh,
Legacy,
you're probably talking about the Mortal Kombat Legends.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, because there's there's the Scorpion one, and then there's the other one that just came out called War of the Realms.
Yeah, I still have to watch that one. Is it good?
Oh, it's fucking good. A lot of people don't like it. I don't know why, but I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I'll have to check it out sometime too.
Especially the fucking part where
I can
fucking-
probably watch it on HBO Max or something later.
I'm gonna show you a clip from that after I get done with
Oh
this.
yeah, there's also like Street Fighter
Motherfucker.
4, The Ties That Bind.
Oh shit!
And these
Yeah,
are all,
that's a good one. That's a very good one.
I enjoyed that one. That was
That
pretty
is
good.
that is a very good one. Cause fucking I
like,
remember,
I
when
remember, like,
was getting her ass
She's getting whooped by
beat
fucking
by C Viper.
Z Viper, and then
Seeing
like
that
then
ass
then
whooped.
like Ryu stepping like, all right, time to lay down the law.
She was getting her ass whooped, and then Ryu was like,
nah.
and then all of a sudden he went to fucking Satsui no Hado and tried to beat the shit out of C Viper, but she escaped.
Yeah, like yeah, she's like, okay, I can't fuck with this dude.
Literally, she's like, I'm out.
Well,
Fuck
yeah,
this.
Jury was in there too, right? She was like fucking some shit up.
Yeah,
if I
there was like
remember
a
correctly.
another an anime adaptation for Street Fighter. Oh my god. Oh yeah,
Wait.
there's another anime adaptation called Super Street Fighter 4 or some shit. And it was
Yeah.
like Jury tossing the Shadow Law dolls off a plane or some shit. Some really dark shit.
Some real dark ass.
And Cammy was
shit.
trying to stop her or something.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it wasn't of course Chun-Li and so of course Chun-Li and Guile were in there too, like trying to
Yeah.
stop stuff from happening. I think Sakura made an appearance too.
I don't think there's ever a movie where like Chun-Li and Guile are not partners now.
Yeah, I mean they're usually in something except for like the Alpha Generations. That's about it. It's probably the only like Street Fighter like movie I can think of that they're not in.
Yeah, that one strictly
Where the fuck were
revolved
they at,
around
then?
Ryu.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because when you watch that one, like you could definitely see where Assassin's Fist was kind of getting some of its inspiration from a little bit. Like it felt really like directly tied to that. Like both those
Yep.
series, like felt like directly tied to this particular storyline.
My shit was definitely like I still don't know why they made Akuma like 80 fucking feet tall and
Oh, yeah.
in the
What?
alpha movie. Like literally, he's like
Yeah.
fucking million feet tall.
Yeah, like he like stupid huge. I think they were doing that for like an artistic thing, to like kind of show just how small Ryu is compared to
Right,
Akuma in terms of
comparison
power.
to- But the way they did it, it just looks like he's just like towering over Ryu.
Yeah, he just
Like-
looks like dumb huge.
You got to pull up an image on that. 'Cause
Oh,
what?
hold
I mean,
on.
doesn't know.
Hold on.
Have you ever watched Gen Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha? Like the first
The
Street
Alpha
Fighter
movie?
Alpha movie? I mean, I have it on DVD. We'll definitely have to check it out
I
sometime
don't
if
think
you
I have.
haven't.
Well, which one was on the collection for the Xbox?
Well, that was Street Fighter 2.
Okay,
Yeah, that was the Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
that's the only one I've seen then. The
Yeah.
only one I've seen.
Yeah, I say you'll definitely have some fun, and like if you got into that one, you'll definitely like the other Street Fighter movies. And there's
Yeah.
also
Look at this shit.
Jesus fucking Christ, man! Like
yeah,
Ryu's like at his waistline. What the hell?
yeah. I know it's just really weird, just how small.
Like if you were to get punched by Akuma at that,
Like he's just like
Yeah.
ginormous. I'm just like,
Huge.
whoa, dude.
like I think they did that just to show just how much more powerful Akuma is.
But it's kind of crazy.
They
'cause,
shoulda
like,
chose
you
a
think
different
it would just
angle.
be a shadow, right?
yeah.
It's not a shadow. It's like his forearms are huger than Ryu. Like his
Yeah.
whole body mass is huger than Ryu. It's kind of ridiculous.
yeah, if they would have done like Akuma like the same like height or something.
Yeah, I could
And then,
see
like,
that
doing,
and
like,
gave
a-
him the body mass. That would make sense.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's just like
Towers
just
over him.
Ryu, it's like, whoa, dude. And he didn't even fight in this movie. Believe it or not, he did not
He
fight
was just
once
looking angry
because
the
he
whole
was just
time.
so
Shows up.
powerful.
He was just looking angry the whole time. I think like towards the end they kind of showed Ryu going towards.
Yeah,
Akuma,
there was at the
Fucking
end they
shit.
showed him about to fight Akuma, and then they
Yeah.
just freeze frame it.
which I guess they ended up following up on that a little bit in Generations. 'Cause I think he does fight Akuma. in
Yeah,
that
he does
one.
fight Akuma in that movie,
So yeah, I
and
was
he
like,
whoops
okay,
his ass.
yeah, which I thought was cool. You know,
Dude, speaking of animes, this came out like earlier. I just found out that this came out in the 90s.
yeah.
But I saw it probably when I was really fucking young. I'm talking about like maybe second grade. So I think that would have been around early 2000s or whatever. No, I know that was around early 2000s. It's called 3x3 Eyes.
Oh, 3x3 eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dog. I think he's actually that tall. I'm looking at it now. I think he was actually meant to be that.
He's probably a robot.
Look at this.
Maybe he
picture.
was just
But yeah,
so like.
I
full
saw
that
that.
doesn't know how
I
to-
saw this anime.
Yeah, 3x3 eyes is that football one, right?
Because even Chun Li's looking up like,
Oh no, or is that one horror thing or something? I don't know. It was like a really weird one.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to find a small description about it.
Isn't it like something where the guy would like die and then come back to life again or something? I can't remember. It's like a really weird one.
The first consisted of 4 episodes of averaging to a half hour of rerun. Oh, hold on, what the fuck's that?
Whoa, wait, why did the
Okay,
volume
so the manga
increase?
received 2 OVAs series based on the 3x3 Eyes that were released in 1991 and 1995 and cover the storyline up to volume 5 of the manga. So somewhere in there I think I saw, and the first consisted of 4 episodes averaging to half hour of runtime, to the second consisting of averaging to 45 minutes of runtime. In the United States, the first OVA was originally distributed by Streamline Pictures, and the second was distributed by Manga Entertainment. Shortly after the Japanese releases, the 2 OVAs were later re-released in 2001 by Pioneer Entertainment in a collection set. So that's probably what I saw then.
Maybe.
Was that. Maybe I'm hoping it was that, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I remember seeing you watching that one time, and I thought that was like a weird thing where like the guy would like die and then like someone would come back to life or something.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't remember.
I've
heard honestly that's one of those where there's actually mixed like opinions on.
I
on
haven't
that show,
seen.
from my understanding.
I've only seen one episode, and in that episode, what caught my attention, because I was in like supposed to be watching. I was kind of like, like my mom and me stopped at my grandma's house to so she
Yeah.
could do computer work or something like that. It was like super late at night. I'm laying on the couch and supposed to be sleeping, but I got the TV on,
Yeah.
and I caught this episode where this kid had to fight a robot chick, but she was like a naked robot chick.
What, really?
Yeah,
Was that in the
that's
3x3?
yeah. And
Huh.
I remember her just beating this kid's ass. I think he was like a monk of sorts, I think. And she was
Yeah.
just beating his ass with a stop sign. But I remember her like missing an arm, and she was like, yeah, all naked. I think she had like red hair or something like that. But it was just like, what the fuck? Why is this naked robot like beating the fuck out of this like little monk kid with the stop sign? Like, what?
I don't know.
I don't remember much about the rest of the episode, but that caught my attention. I was able to catch the title of it too.
Yeah, no, I haven't actually
And-
watched 3x3.
It's been one of those things that have
Other
eluded
than
me.
like that one little bit of episode that you were watching that one time, and I
Yeah.
barely remembered that much. I think I just saw like the main character and like some chick, but it wasn't like the robot lady you were talking about. It was,
No,
like, some
and
other
that's
thing.
the thing. Like when I was watching
There was
it,
some other thing that was going on during the show. So
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I really can't talk much about 3x3 because I don't really know. That. I don't know much about it at
Even
all.
what I
I
was
just know about it
watching-
by name, and I know that you talk about. I think I've heard about it mentioned like through other podcasts that would review anime and stuff.
Oh,
like,
really?
But I don't even know if they even talked about it. They just kind of mentioned in passing. It was
Right.
like a list of other things that they were talking about in terms of like other anime or
Because
whatever.
I wasn't
they were
for sure if
talking
I was
about.
watching the right thing when I was watching.
I don't know. I just know that I can't talk about 3x3s because I'm just gonna look like a fool because I don't know anything about that show.
I feel like a fool, but it's
I just thought I remember somebody describing it saying that like the dude would die and then like would come back certain points of the show or something maybe, and that could be a different show that I don't know.
Right. I know that was like one of those early 2000 things that I experienced. It was like, oh, this is a
You
weird
saw that?
anime.
That's when it came out. Is that like maybe like when they started airing on television or something like that? Maybe.
I don't even know what channel it was on. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't have ourselves. We didn't have like cable or anything like that. Or
Yeah,
like
I don't even know if it was even on Adult Swim or was it?
no,
It
no.
wasn't. Was it like one of those like Stars or like HBO kind of things or whatever at the
One of
back
those like
in the cable
encore
days?
shows or something like that.
Like, 'cause
yep.
I know that like they had Sayuki Reload, I think, that one time.
Yeah.
They had Sayuki Reload
I watched
on there.
that. That was a really cool show.
And they had there was like there was like one samurai show that you thought was cool or something.
Oh, it was Kyo something.
Yeah, Kyo something. I can't remember what it was, but I know it was like a
Fuck.
samurai show or something.
Dude, I forgot about that shit. Damn. Like, I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah.
Yes,
So I remember that
Deeper Kyo, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Samurai Deeper Kyo. I remember it now. I remember the intro was kind of cool.
So I don't know what it was about that shit.
Yeah, that was another show that came on back like that was another one of those like weird like HBO or like Stars or something like that. One of those like movie channels that you'd have to watch it on, which I always thought that was kind of interesting. That a lot of those like movie channels that was like where you'd go to like play movies or go on demand or whatever, like they would also have like anime or
free-
whatever.
yeah, free
a lot of
stuff,
Japanese animation and stuff like that. I think they had their own original programming too.
Dude, I forgot about this show. Shit. Yeah, and it came. Yeah, it was one of those early 2000s.
It came out in 2002.
Fuck yeah! So this is perfect for that this
a little
podcast.
bit. I mean, maybe for next year. I'm mostly actually just trying to talk about like stuff about that actually happened in 2001.
It's crazy because we keep talking about things
went,
that like
we
are
went
around
way
that time.
off track. Honestly, we probably have like a whole other pie.
Look at this.
We have like
This is from the Scorpion whatevers.
But basically, we have like a whole podcast within another podcast.
Yeah,
at
we
this
do.
point. So honestly, I might use some of that stuff for like a different portion of something else.
This is just in
later.
parentheses, pretty much.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, I gotta look through and like take out what isn't
that was sick.
part of the discussion.
I can't believe they're teaming up in this.
It almost looks like who fucking animated this?
The Warner Bros. Niggas.
That's what I thought. It looks Warner Brothers.
Okay, you know what? There's actually
What?
something. There's something that I know that we I don't know if you were there. Maybe you were, but we were all watching Spy Kids that one night when we were over at Kenchi's house, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
You remember that, right? Yeah, I was
Dude,
like,
Spy Kids is shit.
Dude, I love that movie. Like, I know the second one might be the best one, maybe, I don't know. I mean, it was made on the same budget. I feel like that's the one thing I liked about the Spy Kids movie, that there was like a consistency between like the first and second one.
The
Because they had like
third
the
one
exact
just
same budget between both.
Well, that's exactly how the fucking TMNT was too. The first two I thought were great, and then like the third one just was like, what the fuck. But no, yeah, Spy Kids is really cool. I like that movie a lot.
When we watched that like last month, I think we were watching it like in November or something. I was like, damn, this movie is still just so good.
Oh yeah, it held up. It really did. It was fun.
Like, I still because that was a movie I would like. Well, like basically what would watch religiously along with those other two movies that came out, 2 and 3. Like, I just loved that whole trilogy.
When did Shrek come out?
I think it came out 2001 or 2. I want to say. I think it came out. I think that's actually a 20-year-old movie too. Actually.
Yeah, Shrek was hilarious.
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
That's another one too. Like, but I thought Spy Kids is just. I see. I know it was directed by. Goddamn.
It wasn't Rodriguez.
Yeah. Good old Rodriguez. Good old mother effing that dude.
What are you doing over there, Kenshi?
Yeah, Robert.
Watching clips of Infinity War.
Crazy fool. What was his name?
Well, yeah, it was Spy Kids was directed by Robert Rodriguez, who also did, of course, the Machete movies, and I think he helped do. Then he actually wasn't his name attached to Sin City 2 or something, or was that a different director?
Quentin Tarantino.
Or was that Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
Sin City?
Yeah.
I think it is.
No.
It's not?
I know it's based off of characters by Miller, but
well, I do know. Well, I don't think that had anything. I don't think that he had anything to do with that. But
I could have sworn that was a motherfucking Quentin Tarantino.
I don't think it is.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think about like what all did Robert Rodriguez do actually really quick.
Fuck. What film was I looking at?
Oh yeah, it was Sin City. He was in it. Yeah. Since
he was in it.
He wasn't in it, but he directed it. He directed Sin City, Adventures of Sharp Boy and Lava Girl, 2005, and of course Planet Terror. You know, Machete. I mentioned that.
So I was right, Frank Miller, but yeah, Robert Rodriguez too.
But anyway, I mean, he even did the Little Battle Angel, which I thought was so awesome.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Shit, I forgot about
Yeah, like man, he directed one of my favorite like kids movies back in the day, and now he's directing like one of my favorite like manga. Like he's directing one of my favorite
Dude, he does
mangas.
not look like how I thought he was gonna look. Like at all.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna look like Mexican. He looks like fucking like he could be Woody Harrelson's brother.
Well, I mean, you know, Latinos come in all shapes and sizes.
I thought he was gonna look like who's the dude that did Hellboy?
That was
Guillermo
del Toro.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna look more like that guy.
No, Hellboy was directed by Guillermo del Toro. But I mean, even Guillermo was like a.
Oh, it says the director is fucking
That man
Neil
got a
Marshall?
sexy name.
Huh?
Neil Marshall.
What about Neil Marshall?
Oops, I got the Magnum.
Oh, that might be the new one. No, I want the old one.
My sound.
Yeah, it's a little bit loud over there, my
sorry.
dude. You know, I
don't
mean,
mean to
my mic's gonna be picking up. All of our mics are gonna end up picking that one
Well,
up.
you
and
can
shit.
pick my nuts up in your mouth.
Yeah, I'd rather not. Actually, I'd rather just keep doing the podcast.
Yeah,
in
I thought he was
silence.
gonna look more like Guillermo.
Yeah, no, he does not look like that. But
Not at all. Those two are completely different people.
very, 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 very different. And Spy Kids, you know, that of course featured.
I like me to spy on kids.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I like Spy Kids.
Yeah, you know that really.
Dope.
That really, yeah, and that no. Yeah, great. Just ruined the title of Spy Kids now. Yeah, it could really go very wrong. Yeah, Antonio Banderas was the dad. You know, he did a pretty good job. And then you had motherfucking Danny Trejo as their uncle and shit. And then for some reason they had to make fucking Cheech Marin like their fake uncle. I thought that was kind of funny when that revelation. I was like, hey, first of all, I'm not your uncle. He just rips off his mustache.
Right. I'm just your fake uncle.
You know, it's so weird, like looking at Cheeseburger without facial hair.
It is. It really is. Because the first time I ever saw him, of course, was in Cheech and Chong, and he had a big old
Yeah.
dumb mustache.
Mhm.
And it's like every other Cheech and Chong movie he did. He had a big
I
old
bet he
dumb
was
mustache.
high in that scene too.
Yeah, but then when you see him as older, he never has a mustache.
Yeah,
anymore.
never.
It's almost like he's like trying to go out of his way to get away from that Cheech image,
Right.
you know, the '70s Cheech image or something. Like,
Well,
nah, you should have just kept
there's only
the
a
mustache
few-
and beard, man.
There's only a few scenes or movies I think that Eddie Murphy doesn't have a mustache.
Yeah,
If you
it's-
don't count there's the movies where he's wearing like costumes and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So obviously he has to shave his mustache for that. But yeah, you don't see him without a mustache very often.
No, not really. No, man. See, you know what else came out at the same time? Like I said, Shrek, Jimmy Neutron. You know, like all three of those came out in 2001.
Dude, I don't know. Dude, the Jimmy Neutron movie. That's the one where fucking what is it? Like all the parents get abducted.
Yeah, they all get abducted by the egg alien looking
Yup.
dudes. You
I
know,
remember
those
they
alien
were all
egg
like
creature
super
things.
happy at first, and
It's
they're
weird
like,
because like they had like egg-shaped things, but they were just like goo creatures that had egg-shaped pods. You know?
yeah,
So
They
that was
just-
kind of a funny thing. Well, it's funny, but they like there was a scene where like they could like they got on like too hot of a surface and they could sizzle like eggs. I
yeah.
thought that was kind of interesting.
It kind of.
Yeah.
I thought they were.
Like they had like,
supposed
they
to
like
be-
eggs and they had like the green like yolk, which is like
Yeah.
where the eyeballs.
I always
were
thought
at.
they were like supposed to be like not incarnation, but sentient forms of like Nickelodeon's goo.
Maybe I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they of course that's where like the infamous chicken dance. Like, even
Oh
that
my
chicken
God, I
dance
forgot
that did
I
like
haven't
they
thought
made
of
like
that.
all the parents like start doing that chicken dance, and I guess that was like
I'm gonna have to-
Carl's like parents' favorite like music to dance to or whatever, because you know they're just like really lame. But yeah,
I've
that
not
was
seen
fun.
that movie
That's
for
where I
so
first like
long.
heard that theme.
No one's replied to me. Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, and I could be wrong, but I think that was also that was actually a Steve Odekirk like film.
Yeah.
Like he actually directed that. Like and that came out before him and Kung Pao.
It did?
Yeah, Kung Pao came out in 2002. This came out like a year before that. So yeah, he was pretty busy.
God damn.
He was a pretty busy man back in the day. He even came out with that Barnyard cartoon or movie that ended up having its own TV show too. Yeah, and the funny thing is that like of course even Jimmy Neutron like he had a TV show also.
I'm not seeing Steve Odekirk's name.
I think
for-
he did. Yeah, the screenplay by Steve Odekirk. If you look on Jimmy Neutron, he did the screenplay for I don't
Was
think
it
he was-
the movie or?
Yeah, he did the screenplay for the movie, and then I actually think he did more scripts and stuff for the actual TV show. Because like, if you look like on IMDb or even on Wikipedia, it will show Steve Odekirk's name attached to the movie.
Yep, there he is. There he is.
Yeah.
Steve Odekirk.
Yeah, so
I so wish he would have fucking done another Kung Pao, that bastard.
yeah, like every time you're just gonna have to bring it up. You just can't let him live it down, huh?
No, yeah, I wish I could slap him. Just be like, damn you, Steve. Damn you.
Steve Odekirk.
Take me to it.
When we're done. Make me drive places. He still looks the same for the most part. I mean, he lost a lot of hair.
Well, I mean, he was wearing a wig in that movie too, though. Which is the funny. I don't
No,
know.
was he?
Yeah, that wasn't his real hair. That was just a wig.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, his hair was already.
So
gone
has he
by
always
then.
been bald?
I don't know if he's always been bald. I don't think so, because I think you could actually see like him like in the '80s, like in the late '80s, and he's doing like he did like stand up and stuff, and he had like I think he had like a full head of hair. But I think somewhere in the '90s, I think it started to like recede really hard. But yeah, freaking. But yeah,
Wait, is Bob his brother?
who, Bob Odekirk?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh no, a
chainsaw
nigga.
Steve and Bob.
Steve and Bob. Oh hey.
They don't look anything alike.
Oh God.
Well,
When the chainsaw niggas start blocking.
What did they say that they were brothers or something?
Nah, there's just like this photo of them
They just
side by
happen to have the
side.
same last name, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Where the fuck did that last name come from?
Well, I don't know where Odekirk comes from, but
Maybe it's just like one of those slave names they give to the Hollywood actors.
slave names. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe. But hey, you know what? Grand Theft Auto 3. Anybody ever play that back in 2001?
I did.
Here and there.
I just kind of run through this list of games, so I'll read off another one. Batman Vengeance. Anybody ever play that?
No, I did not.
No,
That was a
but
3D
I remember
Batman
seeing.
game. I used to own that.
I remember seeing commercials for it on like previews for movies.
Yeah.
You know, how they just like they'd sometimes throw a game in there instead of a movie.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I remember I had it, but then I sold it. I kind of wish I would have kept it, but I'm like, because it actually was fun. But I had played that game for so many hours, I just kind of like burnt myself out. And I was like, all right, I think I'm done. I'll sell it. Yeah, because I beat that game quite thoroughly. I played it so many freaking times, and then but I thought the funny thing is that like if you beat up bad guys, like of course they have health bars, like because it's basically like a beat 'em up, right? But like if you knock them out, they can regain consciousness and get back up
Shit.
eventually. So the only way that you could like keep them permanently down is by cuffing them.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a mechanic in that game where like you'd have to cut the bad guys so that they couldn't get back up.
Right.
Otherwise, if you knock them out,
They'd
always,
wake up.
they'll keep getting back
Yeah.
up.
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't happen immediately.
It's like an extra.
It's like one of
step.
those like it'll
but-
definitely take a few minutes. I guess it's sort of maybe kind of realistic that would happen in real life. People would eventually get back up if you give enough time.
Well,
But
maybe if there was like it auto did it, you know, like you
Yeah.
walked over their knocked out body, and then it's just like, as long as there wasn't like any danger around, you could like it just knelt down and you cuffed them like automatically. I think that'd be like a nice little mechanic.
yeah, I mean it would be nice, but that was the mechanic that they had there. It wasn't a big deal. I don't even think you had to really worry about running out of cuffs. I don't think so. You just just have this,
Limited, yeah.
that's just how you had to subdue the enemies. And once you did that, they wouldn't get back up. They were down permanently at that point.
Yeah, because they're
They were
arrested
restrained
at
and
that
stuff.
point.
So yeah, I just thought that was kind of weird. I kind of like. I don't know how I felt about that because I just kind of wish they would just stay dead permanently, or whatever, or just disappear like most
Right,
games
like,
would.
I cracked your skull open. How are you still getting
I
up?
punched you and shit. I don't know, but anyway. So yeah, that was interesting. So I also thought it was kind of unfair because like if you get punched out, you're just dead. You don't get back up. The game's over, so you gotta restart. I'm like, what? I don't get to get back up.
Oh, I hate that shit so fucking much. Especially when you get so far into something and then you just take that one hit because you pressed the wrong button or something
Yeah.
like that.
Which I guess makes sense because you're a hero, so you're not trying to kill them, but they're trying to kill you. So I guess if you get knocked out, yeah, they probably
I'm
once you're
only
knocked out, they'll
shooting the-
probably stab you or something while you're down.
Fucking.
You get fucking you get stabbed like 20 times and your
Yeah.
wallet
And
gets
that's what's
stolen.
happening during the game over screen, They're just
Goddamn.
stabbing you and shit. The funny thing is that like there was ways you could permadeath characters without having to cuff them, and that's if you knock them down, they fall down from a high place, then they were dead permanently.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
'Cause I remember that there was like a few times where like there'd be like there'd be cliffs or whatever, just something that people could fall off them, and like I think it was like during like I think it was during the Mr. Freeze the Mr. Freeze level. And like, there's like a part where you can punch enemies off of like the edge, and then they fall down. Once you go climb down there, like no, they're not getting back up.
Right, you just see them laying there.
Yeah.
They're like,
No, they were just gone. They weren't coming back from a fall like that. So I was like, okay, look, there's a few exceptions where they would just not get back the fuck up. Like, and there's other times where you can knock them into like water or something or some liquid. You know how games like that were back in the day. Where, like, they fall in water, they were just dead.
mm-hmm.
So like that would happen too. Of course, you would also die if you fell in the water. And there was actually like one platforming section that pissed me off so much, like in one of those levels where like it was like a platforming section where you had to get to like a sewer pipe or whatever. And there was like all like these like floating debris that you'd have to try to jump on. And you could even see the item back there that you were trying to get. But I was like, you fall in the fucking water like every
Did
single
they have
time.
to do like a double jump action or something?
I think it was just
places?
like just regular jumping. It wasn't that far, but it was you had to be still precise, and I don't think that it was the best game to platform with. It was like you would just fall in there, and I would just get so frustrated. I mean, I think eventually I did get there, but I was like, after so many tries, I was like, yes, I finally got it. It's one of those like moments where like you just feel
It's
so
super
relieved that you
triumphant.
finally
Yeah.
actually got to do it right that time.
It's
But
like
for
self-satisfaction.
a while though, I was like straight up just getting so frustrated. Like, I was like literally about to like pop a blood vessel or something at that point.
Shit, when I had my Game Boy Color, and I had this Tom and Jerry game, and I don't remember what the level was or anything like that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was one of those, like, I think you had to run around the house in a certain order, grab keys,
Yeah.
and then and also like a timely manner. And I don't know, like running around the house, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get all the keys that I needed in the time. And I tried for like a whole year, and I think I just finally said fuck it, and I ended up like getting really mad and broke the game.
You're just like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
I've had it.
And it was a really fun game. It was legit Tom and Jerry game. Like there was things around the house you had to do, like interact with like the refrigerator, the furniture, things that a cat and a mouse would do, you know.
Right,
So it
pretty
was
much.
cool. It was a really fun game.
That sounds
But
pretty
until I
cool.
couldn't get past that part. So if anybody knows what game I'm talking about, because I don't know
Tom
the
and
title,
Jerry game.
comment below.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games like that. I guess go back to Batman Vengeance really quick. I did like that when you played the game, it basically was like perfectly like a perfect 3D representation of like what the 2D animated series looked like.
Oh yeah.
Like it actually looked really good for the time. I mean, minus the platform and having to do like some weird acrobatic stuff, like the actual combat in the game was pretty good for what it was. I had fun
I don't
with
think
that.
I ever actually saw you play it. I just saw
Well,
the trailer demo.
I think I had that when I was still living in Kentucky. I think, and I think when I got here, I think I still had it for a little bit, but we didn't see each other that much at the time, even. So I ended up eventually selling that game. At some point, by the time that you start kind of around more, it was already gone at that point, so you kind of missed out on that.
Damn, should have kept all the games.
A little bit, yeah. And it's funny because I think I did have it when you did come over those few times, but every time you came over, I was doing something else. I was playing.
Right, like you're not gonna
I wasn't
go through all your games just to show me.
I don't know why. I just never went on my way to play that game when you're around, unless I just didn't have it. That one's a little fuzzy. Like when I got rid of it. I mean, I probably just didn't think about it much. I don't know, because I think we were always just want to play Gundams and shit, and
action figures,
like Metal Gear Solid 2 for some reason. That was a game that I remember you watching me play a lot.
Oh, I can watch you play a shit ton of games back in the day.
Settle Gear Molled 2.
Gear Molled. Settle Gear Molled. But yeah, I'll definitely have to after the podcast, I'll definitely have to look up some clips of Batman Vengeance, because that game was a classic.
I definitely
and I still wish I had
remember seeing it. I remember thinking like you said, they did a really good job of doing a 3D iteration of the 2D series.
Yeah. See, okay, so here's another one. Which, did you ever play Final Fantasy X?
That game.
No, I did
It's
not.
fucking hard.
A lot of people told me if I'm gonna start with a Final Fantasy game, aside from 7.
Oh yeah.
It should be...
Start with the saddest fucking Final Fantasy game yet.
That's what everyone keeps telling me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy. They want you to start with which one?
10.
10.
Yeah.
The saddest Final Fantasy one. That's the saddest one.
You think it was the saddest one?
Yes.
He said yes.
Well, to be entirely honest, I haven't actually got a chance to beat that game yet. That's actually one that I probably should buy on Steam, because they do have 10 and 10-2 on sale, I think, right now.
That's why I have
10
a
and
Final
10-2?
Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah, I really need to finish Final Fantasy X, because I played it and I never got a chance to beat it.
They put a lot of Final Fantasy games over to the Xbox, so I might be able to check that out.
Yeah, I know they might have the whole. I know if you look at Steam, they have basically the entire library of all the Final Fantasy on there now, which is actually really cool.
Goddamn.
But yeah, Final Fantasy X
That's
was
a giant fucking library.
Yeah, it really is. And Final Fantasy X to me is probably one of the funnest ones that I played.
Funnest, saddest ones.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but I really do enjoy the hell out of that game. And to be fair, I've only played 3 or 4 Final Fantasy games.
It was pretty sad though.
And
a lot of people died in Final Fantasy X.
And of course the music's really I don't know, I guess has a really sad,
Final Fantasy 7 is
melancholy
kind of sad
to it.
Aerith,
it's cool.
Final Fantasy 7 is kind of sad because Aerith dies and shit.
Right.
Fucking no. That does not top what happens in 10.
Did you ever play all of 10?
Yes, I beat it, and it's fucking sad.
Okay, I never did it because I just never got the chance to beat all. But I don't even know what happened.
No,
either.
I'm lying. The 10 isn't the saddest one. The 15 is the saddest one. My fault.
Yeah, that's the
15 is definitely the saddest one.
Yeah, they do have it on Xbox.
I've not played 15. I watched people play it though. It looks really
Got a
good.
4.5 out of 5. Damn.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 10. You know, that was
And the 10 too.
the one game that.
And a 10-3.
Yeah, 10.
Wait, did they actually make it 10-3?
No, there's only 2. That'd be weird, right? They would just be like its own like little series within the series of Final Fantasy games, the Final Fantasy 10 series. Which I mean, really, Final Fantasy 7 kind of did that already. Yeah, 'cause there's like so many like games and shit.
Okay, they released the Final Fantasy 10-2 remaster for Xbox on
that was
4/15,
pretty easy
2020
to
to 19.
How much is it right now?
It came out for Xbox
I thought you were-
2019.
I thought you were reading off a price.
Price would be...
How much would that game be nowadays? I must know these things because I desire to play it again.
About $40.
Oh, really? It's not on sale?
Well, it says list price $40, other price $26.
Well, now you
know.
just had me curious about like the actual price of the game.
And then here it says digital $50, and then
You're just looking on the Microsoft store, right?
I can't access it on my phone for some reason.
Not really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's really weird. It's very strange.
Right? Because I was looking for it, I'm like, why the fuck can't I find it? So I had to like actually look on the browser
But
itself.
I do know that the thing that you had to fight in Final Fantasy X was that thing called Sin or whatever. It turned out to be like, I guess it's a spoiler, but maybe it's not. I don't know, but I think that's what like Titus's dad ended up turning into that big ass monster thing that was like causing the destruction of the world or something. That's the other thing too that was interesting is about that game is that you start at like one point in time and somehow you end up like going forward in time like 1,000 or whatever years in the future or
Jesus
something like
fuck.
that. You're like in a completely different time now for some reason. And they're like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
There's a little...
Yeah, this is like a big ass time skip, and apparently he missed out on a lot because in between the time he left and then the time he came back, his dad became a gigantic monster that was destroying the world for some reason.
What happened to you, Dad?
Yeah.
Why are you acting a fool?
Your mother left me.
Why you acting a foul there, pops? Yeah, and it's a funny thing too because I was watching my dad play that game, but it got to the point where like it got to be like impossible for him or something. I don't know. But he just like I
couldn't get past
He
some part.
couldn't get past some certain part. I think he was getting towards the end of the game. I was like, oh, that's too bad. But the one thing I did like about Final Fantasy X was that the summon creatures are just like actually like their own characters that you can play as when you summon them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they can do like all their own
Instead of being like an AI character.
Yeah, that was the first game that I played that they could do that. I don't know about 9 since I haven't really played 9 at all. But as far as I know, 10 was the first one where like the summon character was actually its own character you can play as.
Shit, I like that. That's
For a
kind
little
of
bit
cool.
when it was summoned anyway.
Yeah, because most of the times those are just like summable characters, and then that's it. They do their own thing on their turn. Yeah.
It's also the first one though where like characters obviously like had like their class, like there were different types of characters because like I can't remember what the character's name was. What like the main female like character that was the summoner. Yuna, that was her name. Yuna. Like she was like the character that was summoning like all the summon creatures and stuff.
Right.
And like Titus is just kind of more standard stock character. I don't know if you could ever unlock abilities. I never got that far in the game. And then like I forgot what the dude's name was. It like Waka or something? I can't remember. Like
Waka Flocka Flame.
Well, I was thinking more like Waka Waka. I think his name was Waka, but he was like there was like this in the lore there was like a ball playing game, and there's even like a mini game where like, you would actually play the ball sport or whatever, and it was actually pretty cool. But anyway,
I do like that Final Fantasy has a lot of mini games in their games. That's really fun.
Yeah, every character played really differently and had like their own unique abilities and play styles. I thought that was actually really cool, and like the skill tree was really like big and extensive too, because there were like all these different circles, and then once you know like this circle, it expanded to other things, you know. And the whole thing was like laid out like on like a own menu that was like this weird like stone tablet thing that you could fill
Oh
in
fuck,
the little,
that'd be cool. No.
fill in like the little slots, you know, when you gain new abilities and stuff. I was like, oh, that's actually really cool.
I
It's
like the way that
extensive.
looked.
And it was huge. So I was like, yeah, and the world was really fun too. So it was definitely one that I had a good time with when I got
You
the
think
chance
about
to
ever
play.
replaying it?
Oh, I want to really bad. I want to see if we can get it like on Steam or something.
No, I imagine you could.
And you can. I don't know if it's on sale right now at the moment of this recording, but it was an incredibly fun game. I liked the music. I liked the world. Yes, the English dub was fucking corny as fuck, but like that's what adds charm to it, you know. Sometimes when it's hokey, it's just like, you know what,
It adds
I
its
love
own
you for
thing,
trying.
yeah. It's not something
Kinda
you
like
wish was
Resident
better.
Evil.
You're just like, no.
Yeah, pretty much. It was kind of like that in that sort of charm, yeah.
Shit, I know someday I'll get the chance to play Final Fantasy games. I was playing Tactics on my phone for a good while, but that's not like, you know, that's just, that'd be like an off. Or a
Yeah.
spin-off.
I do think that the way Titus Latin is like, I was like, because that was so goofy, but like to me that was like the exact same kind of like hilarity I got from like fucking Dante's doing that. I want to feel your dark soul alive. You know, or even something as small as Leon when he dies at Devil or in Resident Evil 4. Like,
Don't remind me.
yeah, like
Oh,
that shit.
Flashbacks for Kenshi.
That's how funny like Titus's laugh was.
It's
You
just
know,
something
how
you cannot
awkward and just
forget,
corny
yeah.
that was. But I freaking that game to me is, and I like how colorful it is too. That's the one thing I always liked about that game. So I must play it again. And then I actually did play the demo of 10-2, and that was kind of cool because like whenever you like you did like actual like when you got into the combat mode of the game, then like you would like do your ability or your special move or whatever, and then like it would actually like your characters and your opponents would like be changing positions like on the board, you know, which I thought was really interesting about 10-2. I was like, man, this is really unique. Like now they're starting to kind of mess with like the positions of the characters, because you know most Final Fantasy games are just kind of
it's
static.
fixed,
Like
yeah.
you're on this side and then they're on that side. Well, in this one is more dynamic. Like they kept switching places depending on how like what kind of move that they used, or you know, or what turn of the attack that they did. It would like change up where your character was standing the next time. I was like, what?
I
That
like
is so
that.
cool. And then the action
That's kind of how like Tactics was in a sense.
and the music was cool too. It's like, man, it really fit like this mood. I don't know, it was cool.
Well, Final Fantasy has been really good with their music. I know that for sure. Like that's not something anybody
I
needs
think-
to question.
I think I don't think anything's ever gonna be quite top Final Fantasy 7, but I think 10 was like the closest one to really like be like that level of like
Dude,
how big of a deal the game was.
what year did dude, because it's Final Fantasy related, what year did Advent Children come out?
I think it came out like 2007, didn't it?
Probably
Pretty sure it
fucking
came
late.
out 2007.
I remember
So
being
many
older.
years after.
Yeah, I remember being a little older when that came out.
Well, I think we were like in high school by the time that
Movie.
game came out. So, but yeah, I had fun with that.
Movie.
You know, it's definitely one of those where it's like a love letter to like the series and to the fans who appreciated the series. You know, but it's definitely one of those.
I wish I had more to say about it, but I haven't really got to like really play Final Fantasy X. I mean, I beat it, but like I don't really remember it. I just remember it being sad and hard as fuck.
Oh, really?
Maybe you were sad about it being hard as fuck.
Probably that too, but goddamn was that game like.
Oh, it was a 2000.
I do remember it being a good game though.
Okay, so I looked at it and it was a 2005
No,
film.
Advent Children.
Yeah.
Okay, I
So
thought.
it's been a good while. It's been a good 16 years since the
Yeah.
movie came out. But I mean, it still looks really good.
No, it does. I remember watching it with my, on the what was it? At my grandparents' cabin one day, and my grandma just happened to watch it with me. You know, 'cause
really?
yeah, like she just one of those like, oh, it's on the morning. I'll spend the time with grandkids, whatever. You know, I think my grandma got me the movie, so she's like, I at least want to see what I got him. You know.
Yeah. that's
And
really
like
cool.
halfway, it wasn't until like halfway through, she's like, wait, these aren't real people?
Oh yeah, I remember you told me that. Yeah, she thought that they were real because like it was so photorealistic, like the way they
Yeah,
looked.
especially at that time, like Shit, I think it was on an older TV too, so it wasn't like the best.
Maybe her
quality.
eyes weren't the best either. I don't know. But I mean, she's older, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me that was funny.
Just wait, these aren't real people?
I mean, they did a really good job with the CG in that movie.
Oh, such a great. I remember watching saw some of the special features, and they actually had a.
Yeah, you had that like 2-disc special edition of the movie.
Dude,
I don't even know if you still have that anymore.
No, I don't. I wish I did.
Oh,
That's
God.
one of those things, man. I wish I could find everything.
How'd
I
you
lost.
lose that one?
I
That's
am
like a
fucking
treasure.
Probably moving. Probably let somebody. Nah, I didn't even. Maybe I let Murky Claws borrow it. I don't know.
Well, I know the feeling because I used to have an Alien like DVD box set that had like all 4 of the original films. You know, the quadrilogy.
Shit. Was it like a DVD set? Or?
Yeah, it was a DVD
okay.
set. Like it was like had like goddamn like fucking like over. It had to have like 8 to 10 like DVDs or something on it. Like, a lot of them on there. And I got it from GameStop, and then like I don't know what the hell happened to it.
Gone.
It's gone now. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know.
I know
borrowed
Walmart sells the 6-disc collection.
It probably it might have all the same feature. I don't know, but it's one of those things where like I mean it might, but I know a lot of those where like if it moves from DVD to Blu-ray, a lot of special features are just lost.
Yeah,
you stuck on
which I find
DVDs.
is the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, and I guess there's like certain rights that you have to get those special features, and you gotta pay extra for features or something.
Fuck, just put them on there.
I don't know. Yeah, it's so stupid. I don't know why can't just another DVD or another like a Blu-ray release or 4K Blu-ray or whatever. So newer releases have the same shit that the older ones had.
Especially if it's by the same fucking people. Like,
I mean, maybe Alien's one of those special cases. I know Disney's pretty good about like, and I think Alien's still a Fox property. I think, even though Disney might have it now, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Shit.
I really don't know. I don't know if that was part of the acquisition, but
you know, Disney, if they do own it, they're probably gonna squeeze them into the fucking.
But yeah, I still wish I had that.
Disneyverse.
I still really wish I had that box set. It was so cool. I'm so mad.
I remember you having a lot of the action figures. Those were cool.
Yeah, I had like a Predator action figure. I think a lot of those were like Nick and Ben's toys too. I actually had some. Yeah, I think they were. Yeah, a lot of our older cousins' toys.
Well, if they had the cool stuff, so that's their fault.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they let me have it or something. I don't know, but it ended up in my toy closet. I think I still have them upstairs sitting in that toy chest or something. But yeah, one of these, I really hope I find that box that's just somewhere super hidden in this house because that's one thing I really wish I knew where it was.
Yeah, things that are just like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, I'm also missing my freaking. What else am I missing? I'm missing like that Tekken hybrid collection where like I have the rest of it except for the game. I don't know what the fuck happened to it. I don't know if like your little brother or like or kid, you know, like I don't know if like one of the little kids fucking just like.
First I was thinking,
misplaced it so hard that I don't know where the hell they put it. Or
that shit gone.
Yeah,
that really irks me that I don't have that right now because I liked having it. It had the movie on there that was like kind of cheesy but like still kind of corny, but I still kind of like it kind of thing.
I didn't know Tekken had movies.
Yeah, it had the game like an HD edition of Tekken Tag
Tournament.
And it looks really good. And then like it had the movie attached to it. You know, I'm super pissed. I don't know where that's at. Like that really pisses me off. Not every day, but every
time you think about it.
Well, at least once a week, I'm like, damn, what the fuck is that stupid thing? And I don't know where the hell.
You just need to head up to the attic and just spend the day
I'm gonna
up
like
there.
flip this house upside down and shit, man. Like I swear,
You'll probably find everything you've been
start
losing.
hunting down people that I knew might have interacted with it. You know, like I'm out for blood.
Like I said, I had no idea.
I'm out for blood for that fucking thing, dude. I want it back.
Where's my game?
I want it back so freaking bad. Like you don't even believe.
It's like turned into Batman. Where is it?
Yeah, basically. That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to get like all Manhunter Detective Batman mode right now, man.
I love that.
Like, I really want that game back. And then I think I'm also, the other thing I was like, well, along with that one too, is like Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. Which, I mean, I have the last round, so I guess it doesn't matter. But, you know, I still like having it just sit in my collection, you know. Because I have like all 3 versions of the game. Or at least I used to, because I don't know what the fuck happened to Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate Edition.
I think I had way back in the day Dead or Alive 3.
Yeah, I remember that. I think you had like 2 and 3, didn't you? Or just 3? I remember you having 3.
I'm not for sure.
I know you had 3 for sure.
Yeah.
I do still have 4. Which that game is fun, but damn, those trials are hard as hell. Freaking Tomonobu with your stupid like goddamn directions that don't make sense. Like, goddamn,
I
man.
remember them trials are pissing you the fuck off.
Hey, you remember that? You watched me do those trials, and you watched me try to do the Hayate one.
Yeah, that.
And like,
shit.
I had to do this, like, we're like,
You had to do that
circle
diagonal
spin,
half
like, up,
circle
down,
with
boop,
a
boop,
whole
bop.
fucking forward motion going on.
I'm
I was
like,
like, what?
What in the world is this? And I never actually did it. I mean, maybe I could try it again. You know, maybe now I'll be better at it. But I don't know. It was just dumb. It was dumb as hell. Oh, hey, guess what?
Who?
Onimusha Warlords.
Ah.
What'd you call me?
Onimusha Warlords. That was another Capcom game, another hack and slash title that came out.
That was one of my favorite. That was like another game that introduced me to that kind of fixed camera angle style, except it's like Resident Evil with swords.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that it came out the exact same year as Devil May Cry.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to do shit different with they were really trying to reinvent Resident Evil.
But it was also kind of similar to Devil May Cry. That was also a dude that had like a demon lineage that also fought demons, but like in a completely different timeline.
Yep.
Oh, that was I thought that was interesting as well, similar about the two games. So they both had a dude that had a lineage to demons and fought.
Because demons are fucking cool, dude, bro.
Except one is in like 16th century Japan, and the other is in where the hell 21st century, somewhere America. It's the other thing about Devil May Cry, real quick, is that they were always really vague on what locations they were at. You know,
we're like somewhere over here off past this place.
Yeah, basically. But that was sort of the thing with Onimusha.
You got it.
That's what made it really different, though. Is that it was really grounded in like actual historical, like, and with actual history. I mean, it's still an historical fiction piece, but like it's very much grounded like in like our own reality, but like embellished with demons. And it was pretty cool. I actually really liked it.
I think that's why I like Metal Gear Solid 2 so much, because it was like it felt really like real and grounded in a world that's like you could live in at that time, you know?
Like that game is a mind fuck towards the end, and then like
aren't like all Metal Gear fucking games damn near mind fucks towards the end in their own way? Yeah, really?
They kind of do that, but I feel like Metal Gear Solid 2 is like a special kind of mind fuck because like it was really more self-aware than any of the other games. I mean, all the other games had like their own sense of self-awareness that they realized that they were games, but this one was like just straight up telling you to turn the console off.
Raiden, turn the game console off right now.
What did you say?
Yeah, like,
you know,
you've been staring at the screen for so long.
It even like talked about like its own game overs at one point.
I noticed this a while back, but you have far too many game overs. Sorry to be blunt, but you really stink at this game.
You know, and then like the game like tried to make you think it was a game over, but it wasn't actually a game over, and it kind of creeped me out because like, wait, why is the game over screen playing, but I'm still like playing the game? What?
Right, like
and it doesn't even say it right. It's like vision mailed. Like, that doesn't make sense. Continent, huh? Yeah, if you read it, like they mess up all the words.
That'd be a fun game to play through again.
Mess up all the words. Like it was really like messing with me, especially when like fucking like when you look at the map, it doesn't give you like an actual map area. It just shows you an image of a snake like biting its own tail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like an Ouroboros thing, I think.
Huh, shit. I don't know.
No, yeah, it's really weird, dude. Like it does everything it can to mess with your senses. To basically do everything that like a game should not do.
I wish there was more games out there.
Hideo Kojima has always been like that, though. Like, even in the Silent Hill games, he does that shit. He will really fuck with your head.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like Silent Hill levels of fucking weirdness in a Metal Gear game. So I'm like, that's why I loved it, because it was so out of place and like in this what was kind of grounded, but still kind of messing with you. But now it's like really messing with you, even harder than it ever did.
There was a game. I didn't play much of it, but it was called Super Hot.
Oh yeah, that was the one where you could kind of rewind it or something. No, what was I don't remember. I know your brother was playing that.
I don't remember much about it, but like it was just a shooter game. But at the same time, like it was like
wasn't the main character like a chick?
Nah, you're just some like I think some faceless.
I'm thinking of a different game where you can rewind time.
Nah, this one like you had to like slow motion time shit, like get your shots off, and then it would like go fast, and then play out how you did your thing, and then like in between cuts, like I don't even know if you call it cutscenes, but like the game would talk to you in some weird shit. Like I said, I never actually played through it all, but I saw some things here and there when I saw people play.
I just don't think
that was another one of those like I would actually like to play that one
Yeah.
because it is one of those fuck with the player type of games.
And so, I think that like so many other creators, like, and like I said, it's not like that was the first time a piece of media would screw with you like that, like Metal Gear Solid 2. Because even Evangelion did it, like years before that, where like it started one way, but then it ends up becoming a whole other thing.
Completely.
It's really existential. And like, wait, what the hell? What's going on right now?
You have to like take a step back.
It had
and say,
sort of a
wait,
similar backlash too, where like the fans are pissed that any of that even happened. But I guess
in a sense, I can see that because like you do want to know what's up with the angels and this and that, but then you're like, okay,
they're getting all this weird existentialism stuff and all this weird imagery, and like now you're messing with the fans somehow who just expected to have like a classic story.
Yeah, like how does subconscious like stability have anything to do with like
what is up
mech robots and fighting giant angels?
Wait, what does Shinji's infinite loneliness have to do with like the main plot at hand?
Yeah, so
because that was sort of what it was like I think that show tried to display was like sort of like the disconnect between different humans.
Mm-hmm.
You know that kind of thing. Like, what does all this have to do with like, the main plot of like trying to save humanity from the angels or whatever?
Yeah,
I can kind of understand that, but it's like I don't know. I like it when it's trying to tell me something else and like trying to deconstruct. Like, I think that was sort of the point of why it was doing that, because like it starts one way, but then it's deconstructing like
the human
why
psyche,
the hell do you even like until Conway fall into like these tropes and like, and that's the thing, because it was like it's like at face value, if you look at the basic stuff that Ava was doing, or even Metal Gear Solid was doing, like, yeah, we've had like giant robot shows or military action games before, like plenty of times before those shows or in that game, but like I guess it gets to the point where you get so much of it to the point where like it becomes formulaic, and so then like you gotta deconstruct the formula and like kind of do it a different way, make it subversive in some way.
In
I
a way
guess that's what I like. That's why I can kind of appreciate those works for what they did, you know. And
because they're taking a totally different aspect on, or not aspect. They're taking a totally different route on different aspects, which would fuck with people in certain ways. Not even like fuck with people in a bad way, but just like, you know, have some sort of like effect on like the subconscious mind. Like it is really cool when people are able to take a concept such as a video game or movie and do things like that.
I mean, even the deconstruction was like in itself was subjective, because you get like so many different meanings out of it, and there's been people who've analyzed both pieces like for years since they've come out. You know, that's like I guess that's what fascinates me about like Evangelion and Metal Gear Solid 2, is like just how many layers there were. It may not even make sense at first until you like really look into it. Maybe it was all just like meaningless in the first place, but like I think that's what made it fun, is that you can kind of get your own meaning out of it, because that's basically what all art ends up being anyway. You know,
self-interpretation,
And so, and I guess focusing on Metal Gear Solid 2 again, I really liked like how much it had like its own very specific atmosphere that was very much of the time of like when it came out in the early 2000s.
What I did notice, and I'm remembering this wrong, but wasn't there a different, like say you played through the game on this difficulty and then you replayed again, didn't the game kind of call back to, wait, you already did this before, what are you doing type of, like...
Well, I mean, there was this thing where like if you played through the tanker mission, then some of the conversations would kind of play out in a different way. It's kind of subtle. It wasn't like anything completely different. Like basically like if you play the tanker mission, like it would kind of reference that a little bit during the beginning of like the plant chapter. Like, if you didn't do that, then the dialogue would be different. Basically, Colonel would tell Ryan that this is like your first time doing some kind of sneaking infiltration, but like if you did like the tanker section, it would reference that you did like tanker VR or something.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's really cool when the game is able to recognize that you've done things in this order.
It's I mean, like there's like subtle little changes like that depending on how you play the game or like what you picked. There's like just
really
little
cool
stuff
aspect.
like that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely
I kind of like that.
An appreciation
that was like a really subtle way of like putting like actual choice in the game. I mean, ultimately it's still kind of linear, but there's like so many weird little branches within like that path that you could go that you might not have seen before. You know,
you just take a different route and you get different
dialogue. What I mean, that's what I love about that game. Even 20 years later, like it still has like stuff I didn't even see before. Like,
it'd be nice to get an HD release for that.
I mean, there is like on the collection, but like I'm actually kind of surprised that like Konami hasn't like just had like a proper like Steam release, because I know that like Konami had like that and the first Metal Gear were re-released on PC again, but
I would like
via
to play
like
the
good
first
old
one.
games, GOG.com, but like they're like basically the base game that you could have bought like on disc back in the
right.
day. So there isn't like any like actual updates or patches applied to it to kind of make it more like a modern like title.
I mean, that wouldn't be terrible, but
I mean,
it's
it's just kind of
something
like,
you
I
gotta
mean,
work
there are patches, but they're not gonna be like official patches.
No,
you gotta
no.
download via like third party, like
They're like
modders.
Yeah, they're
basically.
fan made patches.
So, but yeah, like the actual atmosphere of that game to me is just something that was just so, like it was just like almost like, and that's the one thing because I remember Super Buying how it's talk about like it was just so like outside of like its own canon, like it was like its own specific self-contained thing. You know, that like I've never ever. I mean, I still like the Metal Gear games after it, but there's just something about like the mood that game would put me in that I just never could get from other games.
I couldn't put it down. And back in the day, I definitely remember when I.
There's a certain mood that it would put me in that I just like being in. And there was like other games that kind of came out around the same time that sort of kind of was part of like whatever that big giant wave of the early 2000s was. Like an atmosphere that I just like.
It was different.
I just loved so much and I miss.
It's a feeling that's lost in games.
And it's kind of funny because even though the game has absolutely nothing to do with Metal Gear Solid at all, but like I feel like when at the time I played that, but then I also played the shit out of like Gran Turismo 2 and 4.
You were playing that. Yeah.
I played those. Those were the two games I played a lot back in the day.
I
Gran Turismo and Metal Gear Solid. Like those two franchises I played a lot back in the day. Specifically Metal Gear Solid 2 and Gran Turismo 2. And a little bit of 4, but mostly 2. Where like there's like a certain mood that those games would put me in that was kind of similar.
Right.
Even though they were two different games, and
Well,
they kind of came out around the
locked
same
you
way.
in
But I don't know what it was, but I just liked being like in the atmosphere of those games. I don't know why. Like I said, they were kind of similar, but they were coming from a different place, obviously. You know, but like I spent so many hours playing those games, just being.
I imagine just the mood of the room.
Even some of the music
too.
coming out at the time kind of fit like that mood too.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if it was completely different, you know.
It still held like a certain style.
The early to mid 2000s was like I wish I was a young adult at that time instead of being a kid. You know.
Well, I guess I would.
I love that.
I guess
time so
if
much.
I were to go back and still be a kid, I wish I would have taken more appreciation for the style of what it was. Like, because it is a transition from the 1990s into 2000s, so things are like changing. Like, people are just putting out new ideas and taking risks for, games, movies, art, just everything in general. Like, shit, even clothes style has changed a whole bunch too.
I know at that time I just really tried to be like in the mood of the time, like through like through the media that was coming out then. I don't know, it was weird. I know I was only like 8 or 9 at the time, but I kind of just liked that a lot, even if it flew over my head. You know,
you still recognize what you were in.
Like I did the first, like I said, I loved the first Metal Gear Solid when it came out in the 90s as a kid. Like, oh, this is cool. It was all action packed, and I don't know what the hell's going on, but it seems serious and it's cool. So whatever. And, like I didn't quite get everything, but like that's what I like about kind of coming back to these games. Like 20 years later, now I can kind of look at it.
You figure out a whole bunch of new shit.
I can kind of look at it.
Younger.
Yeah, like you can get things that you didn't get before.
Well,
like you definitely come at it. It's definitely a very different experience when you have more experience in your life. You know, a lot of the concepts are starting to make more sense. You know,
right.
Like it's weird because like it still feels the same, but like it's different because I'm older now.
Well, I know for me, I'll rewatch Cowboy Bebop, the entire series about once every 5 years. So I know it's like a progressing every time I watch it, I'm always gonna get a different look on it. Like the things I thought about it are gonna either stay the same or they're gonna change different looks on this and that. So it is fun going back and like revisiting things like that. And it's really nice that people are taking appreciation to even redo these games 20 years later and give us like a better version of them.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, the TV show I don't think was the live action one. I mean, that's a weird one because because it's funny because I was like kind of like watching people's essays and just kind of watching clips and stuff of like Cowboy Bebop the '98 show. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's weird because like the new TV show, like it got the atmosphere, but it didn't get the substance of what made those characters interesting. And like I said, obviously the color palette wasn't quite as appealing to look at, obviously.
No, it's kind of forced.
But like, yeah, it's weird because like, oh, it's running on that same mood, but it just doesn't quite get what made those characters unique and interesting and special. Like, yeah, it's just one of those where it did feel kind of like a cheap imitation a little bit.
Yes, I saw a small review that it looked like somebody's web show that they thrown like a whole bunch of cosplay together, and that was it. Like, and I was like, damn, that's pretty harsh. Like, that's a really harsh review to just say that it looks like somebody's like cheaply made cosplay web show. It's like, damn.
All right. I mean, it definitely had like an alright production value, but I could kind of see where it seemed more like it should have been like a sitcom than like an actual like big budget like sci-fi action show. And it's funny because there were moments where it did feel kind of alright as just being a sci-fi sitcom, but like it should have just been entirely different IP. I think. Honestly, I think that's what would have been better if it was just like an IP that like was inspired by the aesthetic of like Cowboy Bebop, but like expressed it in its own way.
Because
that wasn't just directly being a Bebop show.
Yeah, like give us the stories that were never told. Give us like more of the universe, or just I don't know, weird different things. But because it's such an expansive universe that you can do so much with it. It's like you don't have to give us the same old stories that everybody already knows.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the thing with Cowboy Bebop. Because then you said that you like watch it every 5 years or so. It's one of those where it's like that. It's kind of interesting because I mean, like we're 28 now, but we're still around the same age as that character.
Yeah,
Spike Spiegel. It's like it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that like it's weird to get older than some of these characters sometimes. Like because like there's other anime characters that are like, in their late 20s. That are like Rurouni Kenshin. Like he's about the same age too. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm about the same age as that character now. Like, it's weird how I can kind of, like, it's sort of similar to what I said about Metal Gear Solid 2, where, like, going back to it as an adult, like, you look at it so much differently.
No, yeah, because you're going to have, like you said, life experiences.
Like, you still feel like what you felt in the past, but there's, like, something new attached to it now, that you're experiencing. Because we're about the same age as Raiden is now, too, when he was, like, in his mid to late 20s in that game. So
that is kind of weird to think.
Like, I have, like, a new kind of, like I'm starting to kind of, I don't know, like it's just kind of interesting because like I guess like now it's like, oh, I guess this kind of makes sense now,
I mean, it made like sense then too, but it just we're having a new look through,
Well, I guess with Spike in particular, like there's like a certain like he's still in his 20s, so he's still relatively young. But like he seems like he's like
much older.
He seems like he's much older than he actually is.
Yeah, it makes you almost wonder like what kind of life did he have before the Bebop? And with the Syndicate. I mean, we all know he was with the Syndicate, but it's like even that, like you have to be like one of the Syndicate's badass.
Yeah.
And at the young age he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Then he was like probably like in his early to mid 20s at that time. In his life, just doing all that shit. And there's like a lot of people who are much older that were just never had to grow up that fast.
Mm-hmm. And I even think that I want to say by the time we are introduced to the Bebop crew, Spike and Jet have been together for 3 years.
And I guess that's the part that I can kind of relate to with Spike now is that like not that I was ever in any big ass crime or part of a gang or doing any weird shit, but it's just the fact that I think. Well, it relates to the fact that the character has just seen a lot of things, and I think that's sort of thing I think a lot of people in their early 20s, like in this day and age, can kind of relate to like, a guy like Spike is that even if they didn't like go on join a syndicate or something, but there's like he still did a lot. And I think the thing is that like the day and age we live in, we're just so like saturated with information. We just see so much, probably more than pretty much any other generation before us has ever seen before. To the point where like, you get to see where like. Nowadays you can get kind of depressed and just mentally exhausted all the time.
Because everything around you is mundane and the same.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that like you just get so burdened by just having to carry the weight of literally the entire world because you just have access to it essentially in a weird way through the internet, and you're always constantly plugged into it. That like it just gets to be really heavy, and it gets kind of hard to like actually be motivated to do anything.
Well, it's crazy because
because it's funny because you didn't really do a lot, but you felt like you did because you just seen so much information about things that had happened already.
Right.
You know, so it's not 1-to-1 like Spike per se, because Spike actually physically went and did things, but like just the fact that the experience is still there, even if it is kind of simulated for people like us, you know.
Yeah, because we don't actually. I mean.
But I mean, like
we don't get out.
We watch so many movies,
shit.
we watch so many documentaries, listen to so many podcasts, and so many news articles, or read so many news articles, or people talking about news on podcasts. You know, it's like you're just swamped by it all the fucking time. There's so many albums out there that we've listened to. You know, it's like there's so much history about like all these other people who lived these long lives. It's like, yeah, it's kind of no wonder people get kind of depressed sometimes. You know, in the first world, even if it seems like, oh, we're really comfortable, but definitely not extremely happy.
No, we're just. It's mediocre.
And I feel like I'm just kind of scratching the surface like right now because there's so much more to unpack. And I guess that's what I like about like what we were just talking about with all the other stuff, you know, because like Cowboy Bebop, Metal Gear Solid 2, or even Evangelion, these are made by people who have like sat and really thought about shit for like ever, and they're just trying to like unpack it like their own way, and then it makes you think about all these things in like your own life. I think that's why like they still resonate. Like, a lot of those works do.
They're relatable. Like people have their own stories and their own hardships and just quarrels that they have to either work through or live with. And yeah, when you see shows like that, like Cowboy Bebop and Evangelion, even like I almost want to say self-evaluation, but I don't know. Like with
I
Metal
guess there
Gear
probably
Solid,
is a little bit of that in those.
But I mean, it's even nonetheless like it's all things that we can relate to, and as we get older and carry more experience, we have different outlooks on it, and we're just like, okay, so that's where they were coming from, and it seems more relatable as time goes on.
It's one of those where like it's like I think those three like things that were just like those three I guess franchise or series are just, you know, because I can't say shows because only one's a video game, but like those three pieces of media, let's say that, like they all kind of tackle existentialism in kind of like their own different way.
Well, I'm not sure.
They kind of tackle their own flavor of like trying to like explore and talk about things that literally, if you think about it too much, will like break you over time. Like if you think about it too hard. And I guess that's why, like, it seems like no matter how old I get, like, I'll always still find something out of those games or out of those media pieces. If you know what I mean.
Hell yeah.
This was 2 years before, but shit, Fight Club could easily fall into those same categories.
Yeah.
When did that one come out?
99.
Oh, 99, yeah.
Yeah, but there was a book, and I think that came out like 2 years prior.
Hey, when did that game Into the Matrix come out?
Oh, I think they came out after
like 2002.
Was it 2002? I actually don't know. Even though I do know that the Matrix came out like 98, didn't it?
Yeah.
But it's funny because that's when Cowboy Bebop came out too. But
yeah, the novel came out in 96.
The novel came out in 1996. Yeah, I know that was another one that was actually kind of one of those. That was another shit. Honestly, I've only watched it like one time, but I liked it. But I feel like I have to watch more.
Dude, you need to watch it again.
I have to watch it like multiple times.
Oh, when I first saw it, I watched it 4 times in a row. Like, we went out, it was me and a couple of his friends from wherever. And we picked up Fight Club, and I was like, yeah, I've never seen it. And they're like, what? You've never seen this? Like, this is one of the greatest movies ever. And yeah, we watched it. They all passed out like towards the end, and I stayed up to rewatch it just because I'm like, wow, this movie is the shit. Like, I loved it so much, and it kind of gave me that same like, it kind of the same, but it gave me in the same style of like Cowboy Bebop and Evangelion gave me, you know, like.
Well, yeah, that's sort of like. Well, I think it's I think I know what you're talking about. It's just the need to keep going back to it and just analyzing and just watch other people talk about it and kind of watch it multiple times. You know?
Even just like the self.
Kind of one of those. I think that's
you
the
just
really
look
the
at
biggest
things
thing.
differently too when you're given such an out there idea, a crazy outlook on life. You know, it's just like, oh wow, I never thought of it like that, or even just seeing people experience, the things they have. Well, you don't even see this experience like with Spike Spiegel, but you get to see that with like Shinji. You get to see like the things that he's afraid of and why he's afraid of them, or why he's hesitant on this and that, or what he's passionate about. You get to see why he has those, but there's still some part of the show that isn't shown to us, but it's explained to us through the characters' like current state, and it's like, wow, there really is a lot that isn't told to us, but is shown to us.
Yeah, that's basically
and then that alone makes you think like
fucking Cowboy Bebop completely rides on that aspect of like not it's just showing, not telling, and then like letting you kind of interpret what was going on.
Oh yeah, and that's how it was with Fight Club too. Like they show you so much, but they don't show you so much. It's crazy.
When I was watching an analysis the other night about Cowboy Bebop, what I thought was interesting is how like the thing with Spike and like Julia is that Julia isn't really like, you don't really know much about her. She's not really defined. She's kind of.
You just know that she's
very
Spike's
mysterious,
love interest.
but she's not like a character that's fully developed because you don't get to explore her that much. And you don't really get to explore Vicious that much either. He does get more screen time, but he's really about as much of a mystery as Julia in the big scheme of things. You don't know exactly. You kind of get an idea what he's doing through the flashbacks, but like you don't get like the full picture.
No, you don't.
Of why he's even doing these things, or even why Julia is doing things.
This guy is like a no guy, and this chick is like somebody you should care about, but you don't know why.
And I thought the interesting thing is that like we know that Spike desires her and loves her, but like what I like throughout the show is if like when you're rewatching and kind of see what other people talk about, is like you begin to realize that like he loves her and desires her, but he doesn't even remember why anymore. But all he knows is the feeling of what she felt, what he felt when he was around her. And I thought that was kind of an interesting take on that the show is going for. That like he kind of forgot why, like he kind of vaguely remembered, but even he doesn't remember, and that's what they kind of, like explore that idea. And I don't remember 100%. Like I just remember kind of
even with his accident, like they don't even explain his accident. He just says, "Got in an accident," Fucking here's a prosthetic eye looking in the past. So it's like. Well, did she do that? Like, is that something that she did? That like that's a reason why she can't. He
got hurt really bad at some point in the past.
Right.
You don't know like the full picture.
You don't know if it was something that Julia did, or if it's Vengeance.
And I guess so much time has passed.
Was that his name, Vengeance?
Yeah, no, Vicious.
Vicious. Vengeance was the Ghostwriter guy.
Yeah, but I guess so much time has passed that maybe there's a bit of aspect where he's trying to suppress things too, because it was just so traumatic that like.
And I really wonder how old he was when he did the whole Julia thing, because
I don't even know how much time has passed since that. I mean, that's the way he doesn't look much different that he does in this. So I would say maybe like a good 5-6 years, maybe. He would never look like he was still in his 20s. He could have been like in his early 20s. It could have been like
that's what I'm.
Could have been like 7-8 years or something for all I know. It could have been like a 19 or something. You don't really know.
No, and it's just so vague. It's like. Fuck! I wanted. That's something. That is something.
Who knows
how
much like when he had to get like prosthetics and stuff? Who knows how much that messed with like his like who knows how much that messed with him like in his brain chemistry? Depending on like what they had to do to him during the surgery or whatever.
We just don't know. We really do not know.
He's like, that's what I mean. It's like, how much does he really remember? How much? I don't know. I know some people don't like the show sometimes because of that, because it's not just laying everything out.
I don't got a problem with it.
I think that, like I said, I guess that was sort of the point. Is that like it's kind of you have to sort of interpret and try to piece everything together through multiple viewings.
Well, even there's that.
It's definitely not a show that is gonna be very.
No.
It's not gonna be a lot of exposition in the show.
No, not at all. Well, even there's that one episode with Jet and his slight backstory.
I don't know why I keep yawning. My bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine, man. We're just having a conversation here. Shit. And I guess, hey, like, so what's your experience with Cowboy Bebop? I know you watched it before.
I watched it like a little bit. I didn't really get in depth to it.
Did you ever watch the whole show? You never did?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty.
I want to watch. I really do want to like get to like watching it and shit though.
I mean, I have the whole DVD series. I have the whole series on DVD.
Yeah,
I'll watch it again.
There's that episode with Jet and his kind of backstory, and you're not really given much of it, but there's a scene where towards the end, and Spike is like, dude. I mean, he's not like, dude.
They're right, yeah.
But yeah, he's like, hey, Jet, you're not going to let her get away, are you? And so it's like, how much of Jet's background does Spike know? Because it's like, it's not said, but you can tell right there in that moment that he knows of Jet's background.
I mean, they definitely, yeah.
Because they spent 3 years together before we even see, the start of the show, or at least that's by the time the show starts, they've been together for 3 years, Jet and Spike. So that with that, because Spike's what, 27?
Yeah, it's about 27. I think Jet's like 32 or something. So they've been
he's
together for 3
36.
years. Is he 36? I've seen 32.
Nah, 30.
I mean, I guess I had to look at it again, but I thought he was supposed to only be like 32 or something.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could have misread that, but
I mean, somebody else said that too, where he was like 30 in his mid 30s, not in his early 30s.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I could look that up like really quick. But actually, I don't want to like spend like. I actually would like to say more of this conversation like on actual. Oh, okay, it is. He is 36.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. I mean, he still looks like he's like late 40s or something.
Yeah,
now.
you would think like because he already had a police career, like a full on police career.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's been doing the whole.
That's weird. I thought I seen like
shit
32 before one time, which whatever. But okay, that I guess that makes more sense that he's 36 then. But
whole that's why Spike's pretty much.
But actually, what I would want to say more of this conversation for is because like I did get the Trigun box set for Christmas recently, and I've been kind of watching through that. But like I almost kind of want at some point want to watch back to back with that and
compare those
and Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Stars because those are sort of like the big three at the time. And it's funny too because Outlaw Star and Cowboy came out in 2001, and I think we talked about this before on another podcast, maybe a little bit, but like Trigun was the only one that actually came out like 2 years later. I thought it did come out in 2001, and I think I might have told you this before, but that show actually did when it came out in the States. It came out with it like pretty much every day.
Oh yeah.
So
you could watch them like legit every single fucking day consecutively.
But I do kind of, let's see, what else do I have on this list that I had written down? Well, we already talked about Halo we had a whole segment about Halo.
I think we talked quite a bit about Halo
on another episode, and so we don't really have to delve into that too much anymore at this point. Well, Adult Swim, September 2nd, 2001.
Was it?
Yeah,
it was, yeah.
It was September. I remember that. I was actually there. Years old. I was there like for the first day it aired. I was like, "What the hell?"
That was weird. Cause I remember being awake on Saturdays and they were being only like anime. They didn't have like actual Adult Swim on yet.
Yeah, because you know how like on TV they'd have like the little title things. They'll say, this show's coming up next or whatever. So they would have it there. I was like, oh, Adult Swim, okay. And so then it came on, then they played the music, and then they had like the imagery of like the people at the pool and shit. Like, this is such a
running.
It was definitely an interesting, unique experience.
The music they had for that was pretty cool too. Adult Swim's always. I really do wish that Adult Swim had a library of all the music they ever fucking played.
Yeah.
Because they play some great music.
The other thing too is that I think that was when I think they actually had like the term might not be suitable for younger audiences and stuff. Like you remember that, right? Mm-hmm. And I actually remember I think over time they've shortened it down, but I remember before they literally have like a whole thing of text explaining why this program may not be suitable for younger audiences.
And I think they also had. Then they showed it again in Spanish. I remember.
No, really?
Yeah.
You've seen it in Spanish before? I don't think I've ever seen it in Spanish, but that's actually really cool.
Everything was in, none of the audio, but all the text for that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the text, it was really cool.
Oh, I see. That's I guess for anybody that's...
It was just, that's just how it was.
You did just for the hell of it?
Yeah, for that night.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever seen it
in Spanish. I thought it was really weird. I'm like, what the fuck? But no, it was just something Adult Swim did for a night.
But yeah, freaking, gosh damn.
Dude, Adult Swim fucking.
Adult Swim was one of, it still is, even though I don't watch the program anymore, but like I just loved like that
I love the
atmosphere.
history for it.
Like, let's me all these things that we talked about, at least briefly, even the stuff we briefly talked about, was all just part of like this completely different time that existed back then, you know. And of course, 2001 was also the year that, of course, September 11th happened.
Hell yeah!
It was like somehow the greatest, but also shittiest year.
The greatest holiday ever.
It was like,
9/11.
oh yeah, that's right. Shitty things happen too, you know. And it's kind of funny too, because like, was it just 10 years ago, 2011 was when the tsunami hit Japan, and then like an earthquake happened, and then like, you know, the big old disaster. This year it was all COVID and shit. 20 years ago it was fucking, you know, the September 11th. Then like after that, then like, you know, like security.
wonder what's
and
happening.
It got much harsher on airplanes and
I
stuff.
wonder what's happening in 1990.
Was it 1991 like the
or
Gulf?
81. 81.
Well,
That's
if
not
you're
bad.
talking, I know about 1991. I think that's when the Gulf War happened or something,
Nah,
right?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
Yeah. Gulf War, day 17th, January 1991.
What the
That's what
hell?
I mean.
What-
Just something
what is the
bad
Gulf
always
War?
happens, like during like the first year of every decade. It
Because
seems
everybody
like,
thinks it's gonna be a new one. Everyone's be cool, but then everyone ends up being dicks about it.
like it's so weird. Like, I don't. It's like, cause you know, during the beginning of everything, there's all this optimism, but then like, literally the year that follows, like like the second year of the new decade that happens, it's like
Something
nah,
crazy
fuck,
about
it's
to
all
happen,
ruined. It's bad now, and you gotta live with that. I mean, I guess I could try to look back in 81, 71. I'm pretty sure I'd find something bad there too. But
Well, I
yeah,
guess Corona came around,
2020,
but it still carried over to.
2021,
huh?
I said Corona started,
2020,
but still carried over to.
2021.
No, yeah, well, I think that's sort of the thing, yeah. But I mean, you know, we're getting newer, worser strains, I guess is what I was trying to. I said worser. Even worse
Worser.
strains, you know.
Worser.
Worse.
2021.
Didn't get any better.
It got worser.
It actually got worse. I mean, yeah, COVID started, well, at least the ones that we know about are in 2019. But, like, when you think about it, it's like, oh, shit, the even stronger ones happened in 2021, you know, and more people are dying or something. I don't know. But, yeah, 2021, well, it may not have been as, there wasn't like a direct, I guess there wasn't like a direct bad thing that happened. It's still in the wake of something that happened 2 years ago, but still.
It's still affecting us, yeah.
Still affecting us in an even
I
harsher
wonder,
way.
there wasn't any, no, you're right, 2011 was 9/11.
Oh, no,
Or
2011
2001, my bad.
like the earthquake disaster.
Getting
or
tired
something.
over here.
No, that's fine. But yeah, no, 2001, man. Different time, different place.
Dude, I really do wish I could go back and just absorb, like, the aura. The aura of 2001. Because it was just like, there was so much that was going on that we didn't realize that was like
not at all.
groundbreaking.
And the thing is that I was living in a I was living in a suburb of Cincinnati, but you know, it was still like that city atmosphere, that city life. It was so much different than like what it is now, where I'm living more like in just a urban, regular, small sized town, far away from that life that once was.
Hey, how long were you guys out in Kentucky for?
We were probably there for a good. Well, I know we moved there in 2000, and then we probably moved in 2003. So we were there for about 3 years ish,
Okay.
3 to 4 years. Because I think it was literally not much longer after 1999 happened that we left Illinois over to Kentucky. You know,
Oh, yeah, I forgot
and we
you guys
actually had
were
moved
over-
because a lot of my mom's friends were moving over there, and she
I
really
forgot
liked,
that you
she really
guys were
liked
over
them,
in
so she
Illinois.
wanted to be with them. And, you know, I was
Peoria,
like,
wasn't it?
Huh?
In Peoria, wasn't it? Where you guys used to live?
Yeah, it was in
Yeah,
Peoria.
that's what I
It
thought,
was
yeah.
about an hour and a half from where we live, like right where we're at right now. So yeah,
I
it's a really
forgot
different
that
time.
you went
The
from
funny
there
thing
to
is,
Kentucky.
I mean, Cincinnati is only like 6 hours away or so. You know, it's not like like an extremely like far drive.
No, it's about as far as Kansas City from here.
A little further than that, but like a good hour and a half ish, depending on how fast you drive to Kansas City. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I would love to go back there and see it again, just because it's funny because I wasn't there as long, but I feel like the loss that impacted me in a very specific way, like was like right there in that spot.
And now you've been back here longer than you were ever out there.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's other stuff that happened here that impacted me.
Right.
Too, in their own unique way. Like I still feel like some of that carried over to over here too. It was just kind of different, you know. And I think it really had more to do with because it was just like what I was doing as a kid. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's because I was fresh and young, and I mean I'm still young now, but not as fresh.
I remember not liking school at all when I was young. I always had problems with school.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I was always dealing with.
Deal with school. Well, what about you there, good old Kenshi? What did you have to deal with? What was like one of your favorite moments of the early to mid 2000s?
Getting the Sega Dreamcast, to be honest.
The Sega Dreamcast?
That's probably one of the greatest moments.
That's what you got in 2001, right?
Is that the one that was the 2 consoles in one?
No.
Which one was that?
That was like having an arcade at home.
Well, no, Sega did this thing where they had...
You're talking about the Sega 32X with the Sega CD?
Oh, I think it had the CD and the other one that you could attach to it on the side.
Yeah, that's the Sega 32X.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had that bitch. What's good, motherfucker?
What is?
I've never had a 32X. This just seems like there's too much shit going on there.
Nice. All it is CDs and cartridges.
I'll tell you
bro.
what is good, man. It is.
And then you could detach like the cartridge part from the CD part.
I have to go to sleep.
It was cool.
But yeah, well, I guess we talked about all we could squeeze out of here.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into like, you know, all the shows that came out on Adult Swim, like Steel That 2021, which is funny now that, you know, 2021 is, we're past that now, so, you know, that's,
unfortunately,
that show's timeline is now in the past.
We'll have to get
Harvey Birdman,
we'll have to
Attorney
get
at
all
Law,
the Adult Swim shows on a podcast then.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force,
Adult
The
Swim
Brack
has
Show.
a lot of stuff. Fuck, man, Adult Swim.
I see.
That has a history in itself right there. That should be.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to talk
podcast.
more about that specifically. But I guess one thing I will say is that, you know, like a lot of those shows that I mentioned actually had like a weird secret broadcast in like 2000 to kind of test the shows out. I thought that was kind of interesting. I found that out like recently, so I was like, oh, okay, that's actually really cool. So, but yeah, we'll have to get more into that, you know, and like an Adult Swim thing at some point. But yeah, dude.
Definitely need to get an Adult Swim podcast, yeah.
But yeah, I have fun with this one so far, you know.
I like it.
Like, you know, yeah, no, the 2001 was just that, and then like kind of the few years that followed after that were just that mood.
I know
that
if I would have,
if I known
that I would have been doing a podcast about 2001, 20 years later, I would have taken more notes.
Yeah, no, I mean it's fine. We'll definitely
I
probably
would have
talk
taken
about
way more notes 20 years ago.
I mean, at some point, I definitely I feel like I need to do a play like me, you, and the fucking Kenshi over here. Dude. That's the other thing. I stopped myself, but I mean the Kenshi, like we gotta like just do like a playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 2 sometime. Just like really just chill and talk about it, you know.
If they were fucking re-release it for Xbox.
Like I had to play that game again, even though I played it so many times, but it just it never gets old for me. The twists and turns, man, twists and turns, and I feel like that right there for me specifically, maybe for some other people.
And that game,
maybe this is just
really
me, just
good
like
for its time too,
projecting how I feel now onto the past. But I
Way
want
better
to say
than Halo,
that was the
that's for sure.
epicenter of like the mood that I liked. You know.
Shit, even Halo had really good graphics, but yeah, I remember Metal Gear Solid 2 having better graphics.
Yeah, it really did, actually.
Way better.
Because even when you look at like Halo 1 and 2, well, specifically Halo 1, like I feel like yeah, they definitely are kind of like looking old now.
Oh yeah, with little. They don't look as, they aren't as rounded.
Like they're definitely like very boxy looking.
Yeah.
When you look back at the old graphics, like, oh yeah, it's like, ugh.
And I remember thinking that was hot shit, but at the same time I was playing Metal Gear Solid 2, like not realizing that those graphics were just superior.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah,
for
like,
the time. And like I said, I guess maybe they're a little dated now, but
Like,
they're
right
just so
in-
stylized in this weird way that like it just still looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like yeah, you don't look at it like, oh geez, whoa. No, you're like, oh, yeah, okay. I mean, it's, you know, it's older, but like I kind of still like it.
I never even realized that.
What?
In the Disney movie Hercule, fucking goddamn, he's wearing Scar's pelt.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't never realize that. I was like, what?
Oh, and Hercules.
Yeah.
They killed Scar. I
Yeah,
guess
they
Scar
did. I
had
guess
a
he was
name.
killed. It's implied that
Oh, yeah, I actually
Scar
do
was a
remember
victim
that,
of a
yeah.
trophy hunt.
Yeah, he had a name before his name was Scar, but then once he got a scar, everybody's like, "Hey, what's up, Scar?"
I do remember that.
I don't remember what his
That
name
just
was.
came out of nowhere too. That's funny. But yeah, Hercules. Woo! No, but so all right. So I know we're recording this near the end of the year. It is 12/29/2021. Even though we actually started like at like what it was like this like almost 3 hours ago now. No, it's been like over 3 hours now.
Yeah.
So we started this podcast at what like fucking
Yesterday.
11 or something like that. I think ish.
Not
But
for sure.
I know it was, it was a fun ride. I enjoyed that time in my life, but it is long since passed, and now I'm as old as some of these characters in some of my favorite video games and TV shows.
Sure.
It's
You
such a weird feeling.
Definitely have. I mean, I was gonna say we'll definitely have to come back to this in 10 years.
Yeah, so 2011 was like a great now. 2011 just did not. I mean, it was cool, and yeah, that thing that
I
happened.
remember
in Japan
more
sucked.
of 2011 than I do 21.
I mean, I remember both years, but they were different. Because that's funny. Because I graduated. We graduate. Well, I graduated high school in 2011.
I was running around the town because I just got out of lockup.
Oh yeah, I guess that's the other thing that I kind of need to mention too is that there was like a lot of like there's a thing about like this year. I think I started feeling that like last year too, but like. Seems like when I turned 27 to now, and definitely gonna be feeling that at 20 now. Like, high school really felt. There's like a distance you feel from your school days. Like for me personally, just because I graduated in 2011. So I don't know. That's weird. I'm probably overthinking that too much, but
I remember more of my school days than I do my young days.
But there's like such a distance I'm feeling now from the day I graduated high school. It's like, yep, it's a long time ago now.
I mean, yeah, 2011 is definitely a long time ago, but just 20 years is a long fucking time, especially to remember. I remember things about it, but I couldn't tell you, what I was doing specifically in 2001. Unless
I think that's the one thing, because I've been sitting here this kind of shit telling you the situations I was in. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this, I remember that.
No,
I don't know why,
if we talked about 2011, I could tell you everything I did in 2011.
I don't know why, like, I can remember some of that stuff so vividly, even 20 years later, like, I don't know why it affected me so much or something. I don't know, it was weird, maybe because it was Metal Gear Solid 2, I don't know, it's just something about that year and then the few years that followed it, was like, you know what, that was a pretty special time. Maybe they weren't perfect, but it was something special, it was unique.
I remember the, first 5 years, but it's all, a blurred together.
Right. Yeah, I know. Kenshi could barely remember where he was in Florida somewhere.
Just like, yep, this is where I was.
I would definitely be talking more, but I am tired as balls.
I'm pretty tired myself.
All right. Well, I know these two guys are tired now, and I guess I'm starting to kind of feel it too. So, any closing thoughts? Want to wrap this up?
Final Fight is the best beat 'em up ever.
Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah. What about you there, I
can't even think of my name.
I meant to say Ponzio, but a different name was coming out of my mouth.
If I were to take anything from 2011 or 2010, my bad.
2010.
Yeah,
what about
2000.
I thought you were talking about 1, but 10, okay.
Yeah, shows how tired I am. But if I were to take anything from that, it's just we were given a lot of good music, good games,
games, even movies.
Yeah, just movies.
Oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop the movie came out in 2001. There you go. Gotta throw that in there real quick.
Hey man, yeah, Cowboy Boopy Boop go hard.
It does.
Dude, that's it was somehow the best and worst at the same time.
I don't know about that live action movie. That movie, the live action adaptation, that shit can eat some dicks.
It's a little poopy, but I liked it. I liked it, but I didn't I'm not gonna recommend it.
No, I wouldn't recommend it at all. I really would not recommend
It
this
is.
show.
If you're interested, go see it, but I wouldn't go recommend
I would just say
it.
watch Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
fucking
just
poop.
watch.
Don't
Yeah,
watch
for
it.
real, just watch the anime.
98 Cowboy Bebop. Don't watch 2021 Bebop.
That's like
Sorry.
saying go.
Oh,
that's
see,
like that's
that
like
was our
saying,
disaster this year. Was that movie or
that's
that
like
TV
saying,
show?
hey, fuck the
It really
anime
was.
Dragon Ball Z. Go watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah, no, don't. Don't go do that,
Slap
please.
you for even saying that.
Don't go do that.
Dragon Ball Evolution is
Do
the best.
not go watch Evolution.
Yeah, but I
It's
thoroughly.
the best film adaptation since fucking Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, you know,
Mortal Kombat was a good adaptation.
All right, well, so I guess that was our
I
closing
should've said
thoughts.
Street Fighter.
I hope you guys who are listening had a Merry Christmas.
Christmas
and I
has
hope
been
we
over
have
for
an
6
awesome
months
New
now,
Year.
You
fucker.
guys
all
got
that.
your dick sucked under the missile. I mean, got your kiss sucked under the mistletoe.
You can't even say that right, so sorry.
Nope,
you
you
don't
can't.
get to have that last joke. But
No, you're cut. You're done.
you're done. You're
I
canceled.
hope you got tongue French kissed under the mistletoe, you lucky bastards.
You know, you should have just said that in the microphone.
I was trying to, but
You're like standing way up there.
they can still hear me. I'm pretty fucking loud.
Yeah, but you know, you should just focus in the mic so then you don't have to like talk over here.
all right, look,
and then
I'm
bleed in
focused on the mic.
He's focused.
here. You're fucking focused as shit. You know, you
Well,
went really
everybody,
dead silent for
You
a
take
while.
it easy. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and enjoy your New Year's, folks.
Get drunk.
You guys are a little late.
Yes, man, hopefully it's gonna be great for you next year. Here's the hoping.
The holidays have
Yeah.
long since passed, assholes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
God damn it, Rocha. Why the hell did your dumbass take so long to finish the episode? Seriously, dude. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot to talk about Tekken 4. That also came out in 2001. I'll get to that pretty soon.
Honestly, though you have played the game for a long time, don't you have anything else to do with your time?
Nope.
I can't believe you sometimes.